All right. Load up your OBS.
I already had it open. I just clicked a couple buttons.
You're recording and streaming? Cool.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
Okay.
Take two.
It does look like it's working.
Oh, good. I just had to reload it. I don't know if it was gonna open it to the same exact thing that he had or not. So.
Yeah,
Okay.
it sounds like
It's working.
everyone's there.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah,
Welcome
perfect.
to a stream that actually works.
Hey, this is good. The first
I promise nothing about working.
Oh, I mean, I have the day off, so I don't care.
that's fair enough. So anyway, hey, I guess now that we've started afresh, we can actually do what we planned on doing, Alex.
Yes, we can actually do a pre E3 show thing, chat, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah, the first thing, that was the pre-E3 thing. Now we're into the actual thing.
That was the pre-show.
Exactly. What I was talking about was that Bethesda talked about Fallout 76, so people would be just kind of talking about that and maybe not poking around some of the other things that they're doing, because I get a real sneaking suspicion that they may announce Starfield is coming out soon.
No idea, but
You're gonna have to update me. I don't quite know what Starfield is.
me either. Nathan, we're gonna start from the top though. We're gonna do it right.
Fine.
So we're gonna do it in order of whatever.
No.
Do you have the E3 schedule
Okay.
at all?
I actually prepared for this.
I thought you might have.
Okay, no, that's fine. No, it's okay. That's an interesting thing. I'll get back to it later. But yes. Anyway, it's about E3. I do have the schedule of what press conferences are going to be coming up.
Good.
So at least we can talk about
let's
that.
do this. I wanted to
Great.
do it slightly structured. So let's do it in the order that they're
Fine.
gonna come out.
Yeah, okay,
That way we're not.
fine.
That
Be
way we're
way.
not. I don't mind jumping around, but this will be way easier to flow.
Okay, so I guess we'll start with tomorrow. Bright and early. Well, no, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Electronic Arts.
So the graveyard of gaming.
Yeah, why don't you
Graveyard of
let us?
Gaming Company.
Yes.
Yeah, the blob, the
The
forever
amorphous
growing,
mass that absorbs what it can.
everything involved. Alex, who are your favorite studios that we unfortunately have lost to Electronic Arts?
Westwood Studios. My one of my favorite RTS games of all time would have to be Red Alert. And they kind of destroyed it completely and utterly. And I'm sad.
That is true.
I mean, second to that is Dawn of War, but THQ didn't get bought out by EA, they just went under. So that is more of an okay death of a studio. It still sucks.
Volition is still my...
Volition?
Yeah.
Which one
that's
did they
mine.
make?
Come on, Saints
Oh.
Row, THQ. That series was going to die.
Right.
To see it die by EA's hand. Sad thing.
Didn't they do Mercenaries? Was that Volition?
It
Pandemic.
was,
That was Pandemic.
Hmm.
Pandemic, I think, also got bought.
The other one would have to be Black Isle Studios. I think we went over that.
No, you-
They didn't get bought out.
No. Black Isle. Well, I think Black Isle. No, Black Isle. The members of the team of Black Isle went on to create Obsidian.
Yes. Well, it's most of the members
Well,
of the team,
independent,
which is fine. Which is fine.
Yeah.
But still, they kind of killed them as well.
Yeah. Part of me thinks that they did eventually have a buy. Well, they closed, but I don't think they got bought out.
In BioWare.
No, they didn't get bought out. A hard one for me.
BioWare is alive?
It's a division of EA.
No, it really isn't. The
No.
problem is, it's not the same team. The doctors aren't there anymore. They said most of their writing team and everything, they've all left. So whatever's left of BioWare is not the same. And then when you look at what happened with Andromeda, which, I liked it just fine, but I understand what people's problems were with it. it makes you wonder. Yeah, it makes you wonder, like when they get to Anthem, and then be excited for it. I feel like it's going to be more taking the EA formula of gaming than the BioWare formula of gaming was.
I think my biggest fear with Anthem is that EA made it to phase out effect because they didn't want to focus on an existing property from another company. They wanted to make their own that was exclusively theirs. Case for copyright in IP reasons, various internal company reasons that would make sense from a marketing standpoint, but from a development, customer loyalty standpoint, really cut yourself.
Yeah, I don't know. At this point, I feel like EA's kind of lost so much goodwill that I don't see how they get brand loyalty at this point.
Doesn't EA still own Call of Duty?
No, Blizzard does at this point.
No.
Or part of it.
Activision owns
Blizzard Activision.
Is it? I thought
Blizzard
that was
Activision. That's why.
Which one am I thinking of? Battlefront?
Treyarch?
Oh, Star Wars.
Yeah, they own Battlefront and Battlefield.
Battlefield, sorry. Call of Duty is a terrible game too. Sorry. I get them confused because I don't care about them.
I mean, that's fair.
Right. Yeah, no, they do have Battlefield and Battlefront.
Battlefield also has DICE, which is a minor advantage.
Right. Well, actually, I had played Battlefront 2, and DICE does appear in the opening credits, so they apparently worked on that one, too. As well as favorite company's Criterion, which is now part of EA as well. They were actually famous for doing, like, Burnout, like those racing games where they had just a lot of speed and crashing and fun.
Yeah.
Do that.
Another company EA killed that I'm also sad about? Maxis.
Damn it. Yeah. That's...
I mean, SimCity, was decent. It was okay. And The Sims was okay. I mean, who didn't put their Sims in a pool with no ladder to get out and kill them all?
I can say I did, but
it's good times.
Just because I didn't have the purchasing power to buy Sims.
Fair enough. I mean, who hasn't drowned their Sims, or burned their Sims down, or forced them to mate with, 20 people? Who hasn't done these things in The Sims? And EA just destroyed Maxis as well. All the Sims games, all of them. Just every single one of them.
Yeah. As I'm looking through this long list, because boy, so many people have had studios that EA has killed.
Did Big Huge Games, or was it 38?
It'd been 38
studios who did Kingdoms of Amalur.
Oh yeah, did EA own them originally?
No, they bought them out after their initial release of the game was below what they expected, although they recuperated their costs anyways, so...
Right, yeah, but I think the studio's all but gone anyway.
Yeah, they dissolved that one pretty quick.
Yeah, they had high production costs for that, but I saw what they were trying to build. It's just unfortunate that people didn't give them the chance. Origin Systems...
Yeah, I never played that.
That is that was the company founded by Richard Garriott.
Oh, okay.
That was where Ultima came from.
I don't mind Origin install Steam duplicate as much as most people, but that comes more from my newly found distrust of Steam, less of the efficiency of Origin, because Origin's just it's no better than the Windows Store.
I hate the Windows Store.
Exactly.
I don't like Origin.
It's almost a necessary evil in some cases.
But the only reason they called it Origin, that EA was able to do Origin, was because they already acquired Origin Systems.
Well, EA has their own launcher too. Or is it Origin? No, you're right, it's Origin. My bad. I was thinking of Games for Windows Live, which They just failed so hard with it.
That thing you randomly needed to play Dark Souls.
Yeah, you needed to
Those.
play a couple of Dawn of War games back in the day. And now
Yeah,
it's all on
yeah.
Steam.
Origin
And-
Systems is capable, functional, but in no way.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah. Like one of the for the record, Alex. Yeah, Pandemic was also killed by EA. So
Yep.
there's that. They made the original Battlefront games that
Yep.
people liked,
Uh-huh.
I
and
mean, that
and
one
they
that had a surge on Steam purchases when Battlefront 2, the new one, came out.
They're like, this game sucks. I want to play Battlefield 1 again. Yes, let's do it.
Battlefront
Well-
2 had a huge surge in Steam purchases when, about a month before Battlefront 2, the recent version came out, was going to come out, after the sudden drop in pre-order.
Yeah.
they
That
were like,
sudden,
let's.
that sudden backlash of everyone going, we're going to cancel all our pre-orders. And EA goes, we're going to remove the button from the website.
I'm gonna show some mercy on someone who has had to program that kind of thing, and say that was probably a problem a few months before that anyone found it. But unfortunately for EA, they should have found it.
What, the cancel pre-order button?
Yeah, it was a language-based thing. It was entirely, I think it was like French and Taiwanese, or Chinese slash Taiwan that had the problem. But of course, it comes a good amount of people discover it the exact time your pre-order sales drop. You know, you should have checked sooner.
Does anyone know how much money they lost on that
Probably not as much as you think.
game? Probably.
They probably still came out pretty well in the deal.
Well, I mean, it was funny
Honest to God.
because working where I work, you know, when it came out, I saw all the games sitting out back, like the displays of them. I'm like, those aren't gonna sell. and then like a month or two later, you see all of them are now. It's all the PS4 bundles with Battlefront 2. It's like they're trying to get rid of them by selling them with the bundles. And I thought it was hilarious.
So EA, from what I'm reading here, EA is weathering Battlefront 2 sales. They only sold 9 million copies for the holiday season.
Oh man, only 9 million.
Only
Oof.
9
9
million.
million. Yep.
As opposed to how many do we know a figure of how many they had pre-ordered?
I have
From
absolutely.
what I hear, they lost about 50,000. So
How-
compared to the 9 million they sold,
How many? 3,000?
consequential. 60,000.
60,000. Yeah, that's not much. I mean,
It's pretty inconsequential.
it's still a big dip, but it's nothing compared to 9 million.
Said that they were expecting to sell 10 to 12 million copies in that quarter, and so they sold 9 million, so that's down from what they expected.
Oh, projected sales are down. Fire everybody.
It
Well,
really does depend on what their expected loss was, because that's how you play. That's how you make a game. You go, this is how many million we invested. This is how many units we need to sell.
Sale.
Sale sold.
Sale.
Come sail away.
Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, I guess there's that, and I'm guessing EA did not think that, like, Fortnite was going to be a thing, so there's that.
Yeah, that probably
Everybody side play that.
PUBG and Fortnite probably crippled a bit of competition for a little bit there.
So I had the fortune of getting a free PAX East ticket this year, and the amount of space PUBG took up was astounding. And then the random space Fortnite took up was surprising considering its popularity at the time.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing for studios with that is PUBG is wildly successful.
Mhm.
Fortnite is oddly successful. The best I can say it, because it's a free battle royale game. all of a sudden everyone now goes, wait a minute, Battle Royale's popular.
Again.
Give
Yeah.
it a year, everyone's gonna try have a Battle Royale game. Hell,
Yep. That's
It-
same thing they did with League of Legends, and everyone's like, then you get Overwatch, and you get all
free
that
MMOs.
stuff. So
They-
it goes in nice themes for 1 to 3 years, I think, something around there.
Yeah, they have already talked about a whole slew of what are supposed to be the Fortnite killers that are being developed. By the time we
That's
get
how
here,
you know
though,
someone's already failed.
several of them
If you-
already have. Yeah.
If your game is pitched at some other wildly successful game's killer, you have already failed.
Yeah, you don't know your audience then.
Huh?
Nope. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'm a little bit saddened by that, but I mean, Fortnite is one of those phenomenons that you just
It's like the Minecraft.
they even assumed it was going to be like that.
It's,
I mean,
it's-
I get the feeling that Epic did not know that they had like a whole game that was like a retail version game that had all these other modes, but they were like, "Hey, here's the battle royale you can play for free." They probably had no clue that
Was-
that was going to just be the game.
Was part of its popularity surge due to possibly a Twitch streamer playing it?
I think that particular Twitch streamer, of whom I know you're talking about, actually his popularity really skyrocketed because he started playing Fortnite.
I meant the opposite effect. Someone picked it up, played it on a stream. Like, that could definitely be a game masterpiece. Then people are like, oh my god, this game looks so fun. And this person's playing it, and they
Yeah.
have a million viewers, so I'm gonna play it.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. So there was a certain point at which it's almost like a feedback loop.
Right.
You see somebody playing it, and then it's like, oh, that's fun. And then they start playing it, and then there are more streamers that start doing it too.
I definitely think that has something to do with it, possibly.
I still think that when they came out with Sea of Thieves, they were thinking, "Oh, this will look great on Twitch streams when people play this." Until we realized, oh, they didn't put like a game in there for people to play.
Whoops, we forgot to actually add game mechanic beyond kill
Ooh.
and collecting from here.
There's hey, look at all the fun enemy types we get to destroy. You get to battle skeletons. Yep, that's
And
it.
skeletons?
And more
And
skeletons.
16 different versions of skeletons and sharks, which you can like kill with like one gunshot, which you can fire underwater. Sure.
Yeah. I think Sea of Thieves definitely tried to push the streaming content, did not, and severely underestimated the success that Battle Royale gave.
And the sad thing is, I mean, that's rare.
Yeah.
Such good work usually. To see them not think about the game experience is really disheartening.
I mean, you can almost see the points where, and this might be a little bit of experience bias, where Microsoft pushed production development, where Microsoft went, this isn't going to make it in time, cutting it. Microsoft's experience of this doesn't get to the final game because this needs to be pushed in time. Where Rare is much more used to a strong development period, but a more lax, less trimming the fat method.
Yes. And I think that happened a lot when they worked under Nintendo.
Yeah.
Did not happen as much when they got sold off to work for Microsoft. And that's the reason why when you see the ones they did for Nintendo 64, they made GoldenEye, Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong 64, Perfect Dark, and then the first thing they make for the Xbox is Grabbed by the Ghoulies, and you're like, okay, things have changed.
Yep.
Times
Well,
have changed.
I think it's really about how each company markets. Nintendo goes, we market on a character feel, which Rare was easily able to translate into a mechanic.
Right.
GoldenEye's a great example. We're playing on the James Bond field of being the instant killer, the best among your. Whereas when you get switched to Microsoft, they're influenced by, at the time they got it at least picked up. They're influenced by this multitude of multiplayer, large scale features that they get almost shut down for what they're meant to do and turned into what's usable market.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess that's true, and it's going to be interesting to see how that plays into future titles that they make. I know that people were really excited. They put the Megalodon in the game, and that's fun for a little while. But I don't know. I think everyone just had,
It's fun for a little while.
literally everyone was like, you know what? It's like the first 15 minutes playing Sea of Thieves is like the greatest 15 minutes of your life, but there's nothing after that. It's just it's No Man's Sea is basically what it ends up being. They all said it. It's like, and sadly that is all too true. And then they had just come out with I can't remember the studio that did it, but they came out with State of Decay 2, and it sounds like that kind of suffers from the same basic problem. They focused on a multiplayer aspect, but the gameplay really did not evolve from the original iteration.
Well, for No Man's Sky specifically, I know it has nothing to do with this year, but they had so much hype. So much hype. And they just weren't able to deliver at all.
I will give Hello Game. I have not played it yet, but it will come to the Xbox, and I might check it out. But Hello Games did continue working on it afterward, and they did actually put more content. They did actually put more content into it.
For the 9,000 people that still play.
Yeah, and that's a current problem, is if your day one release isn't substantial, it doesn't matter what you bring to the table. Like, look at Destiny 2. They have huge plans, but nobody cares anymore.
Well, the problem with that too is that like No Man's Sky specifically promised all these things for like day one, and they had like none of them.
I think I was watching The Know, and Mika Burton, who loved the original Destiny, was talking about all of the new content that they're coming out for Destiny 2, and she's like, oh yeah, so after they install all of that, it will finally be everything they already offered in the original Destiny. That's terrific. I'm so glad they're finally getting to the point where it's the original game. Thanks for doing that.
So I will give a tip of the hat to EA, not because I like EA, but generally speaking, when they put a game out, it's actually finished. Whether or not you have to buy DLC and unlock bullshit like in Battlefront 2 is not the point of this.
Right.
They actually tend to finish their games. Also, hello, the Frozen Comrade. You sound cold.
That may or may not be me.
Then you may or may not be cold.
I'm old. Let's be honest, I'd rather be cold if I'm drinking.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's fair enough. So anyway, yeah. So moving on. That was kind of about EA, or at least about
that was
whatever.
The most roundabout total circumference of EA.
So the real question is, what is EA bringing to the table this year for E3?
Oh, who the hell knows? You know what? Probably the studios that we were talking about. They're gonna try to talk more about that. I imagine we're gonna learn more about like Anthem. And I'm sure that they're going to have another Battlefield game to talk about.
And maybe they'll just give you all the content they had for Battlefront 2. They're like, here's an additional game. It's Battlefront 2 with all the stuff.
Would be perfect if EA was like, okay, we hear you. Battlefront 2 is just now free. It's just a free... It's a Battle Royale style game. Very similar to Fortnite, but it's with Star Wars. You guys enjoy. It's just
I would play that.
The game is free, but you pay by the bullet.
Damn it. Curse you, EA!
There
No,
are loot crates for ammo. That's
see, my problem is I don't care what EA is putting out. Where's my bad company thing? That's my bias.
they haven't made one of those for a while.
They're not going to make another one as far as I
No.
know, but I'm still waiting.
Yeah.
For which game?
Well, Bad Company.
Oh, okay.
Battlefield Bad Company 3. I'm waiting for it. It's not going to be made, but I still want.
But we can dream. I mean, there were a lot of things that I was hoping for. I was hoping for a new Fable one day, but I've kind of given up on that.
That's not EA though.
But I mean, just in general, my
okay.
hopes and fears. I'm sure I can think of stuff that EA's not going to give me, but it's fine.
Hopes, dreams.
Yeah, literally. And you know what? They're gonna give me another like Need for Speed. I'm sure they're gonna do that. I just tried out Payback, and I can tell you, unnecessary story. I didn't need to know who these characters were, and I still don't care who they are. They're gonna give me one of those. They're gonna give me a Battlefield from some I don't know, the Balkans War or whatever they're gonna do for Battlefield next.
War for the Balkans. I mean, if you want
War
the
for the
Balkans, you just go play diplomacy.
But Battlefield Isle of Man, and we'll just figure it out later.
Battlefield Easter Island.
There's one map.
Everyone has FALs, and you just trade on which, if you're using automatic and semi-automatic. Got it.
Well,
Yeah.
you don't fight each other in Battlefield Easter Island. You fight the giant heads.
Oh, okay. Even better.
They come
Okay.
to life.
Everyone's got
They come to
FALs.
life. They're 10-meter tall monstrosities that just kill you.
For some reason, I just got Easter Island with this Falcon on.
It's
And
all good.
Everyone I met in Argentina just hates me right now.
What are you talking about?
That's great.
Let's get off
Anyway,
of EA just so we have less
Yeah.
negativity.
yeah, because we have the good stuff coming up here. We got the good stuff. So Sunday, Prince of the Day is going to be Microsoft. So I'm sure it's going to be a whole lot of Xbox exclusive stuff.
Like,
No idea what they're planning on putting out.
What have they been working on?
Probably Halo. Usually you figure that there are certain things that Microsoft is going to be making, and usually I think of Halo. But I did think that there were some other exclusives. I think Biomutant is one of the games that's going to be coming out exclusively for Xbox. That's a small
Biomutant?
studio. Yeah, it's an interesting game where you play like a little cyborg cat.
I mean, I am a little cyborg cat.
Well, then, you know what? It was really your life story, Alex.
Oh, good.
That's what Biomutant...
Now I get to play as Alex.
They need to pay me for that.
You want
Yes.
Do you get a laser pointer for humans?
I get to turn the
Yeah.
humans into laser pointers.
Yeah, that's fun. Oh, yeah, a laser pointer gun. That would be really cool.
Are we playing 40K now? That's a flashlight.
Yeah, that would be great. Oh, yes, that is... Thank you, Internet, for letting me know. Probably one of the big things we're going to find out is when we will actually get Crackdown 3.
You're shitting.
With they have delayed it and delayed it and delayed it, but they swear it is coming.
What game is Crackdown?
Crackdown. I'll have an attempting to play for it at some point. I've already put it together. It releases in a couple weeks. But Crackdown is basically like an open sandbox game where you have to like use a tough love approach to gangs in this fictional city. There's just a lot of explosions. It's
So-
basically a lot of explosions.
It's
And so-
Yakuza, but not.
Ever played Yakuza? Yakuza's actually gun vacant. If you've ever played Yakuza, there's very little in the way of firearms. It's usually like melee combat. No, actually what they were talking about Crackdown 3 was going to bring to the table is basically fully destructible environments. So like buildings can topple over, and you can use them to break into other buildings and all of that good stuff.
Wait, you can break into another building by crashing a building into it?
Like if you use one building as like a ramp to get up to the top of the other building.
I mean,
It's a very inefficient and costly way to do it, but I guess that's why it's a video game, and not real life.
can I
Right.
just
It's more
fly-
crazy.
Fly my helicopter into the building instead. Just land inside the building.
I would have loved that.
I mean,
That
it
would've been great.
sounds more crazy than Saints Row 4.
And that is hard. that is a big ask. Because Saints Row 4 is so ridiculous at a certain point.
Yep. And it's a lot of fun.
Oh, it is so much fun. I mean, after Saints Row 3, I don't know how else they could have done that. It's like, alien invasion and give everybody superpowers? Sure, why not? Like, after 3, where, like, Burt Reynolds just shows up as the mayor, and you have to stop a zombie invasion, I don't see how they could have done anything else. Just start the game where you're disarming a nuclear bomb, land in the chair at the White House and the Oval Office, and just become the president of the United States. Yeah, sure. Why not? That's good. Let's start it up. Let's get the alien empire in here. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, it sounds a little crazier than that if we ever actually get it, because it's been delayed about 16 times. But they say it's coming in 2019, so...
I mean, we've heard that before about Duke Nukem, and guess what happened?
Yeah, that's why long development cycles sometimes are not good. Sometimes they do not work in your favor. Years! So they could make Duke Nukem Forever. Good time well spent.
Let's see.
So that's probably the big news for Microsoft. The one though that we kind of touched on middle of the day, or actually pretty late, sorry, will be Bethesda on Sunday, and then we get to hear all about whatever they're coming up
I'm
with.
looking at a thing right now, just for the record. For Microsoft, their known stuff is going to be Crackdown 3, Forza Horizon 4, Sea of Thieves, and it just moved. Ori,
Sea of Thieves, we're for realsies this time.
Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Oh, okay. I don't know that one.
Oh,
that one.
Ori and the Blind Forest was the first game.
Well, okay,
That
now
series.
thank you. Ori and the Blind Forest. I did not play it, but I do know that one. I heard that was very good.
So that's apparently what Microsoft is potentially going to be covering.
That's kind of a light lineup for them, though.
Well, it's because they're not making a battle royale game.
Really true. So yeah, Bethesda will be the one that's in the middle, and all we really know is that we're going to learn more about Fallout 76.
So
and...
we know two things that'll happen. There's going to be a new port for Skyrim.
Yes,
It might be on your Apple
VR.
Watch. It might
Skyrim VR.
It's already
so-
on VR.
Oh, okay. So not
It's
that.
on Xbox, PlayStation 4,
Yeah.
probably
there's-
PS3. It's on computer, Mac, Switch, and VR.
There's going to be a mobile version probably. It's Skyrim Go. You can just go
It's
around.
going to be, as I said earlier, it's going to be Skyrim Tamagotchi.
Oh, you're such a cute little Dovahkiin. Yes, you are. Let me feed you. About 100 sweet rolls. Here you go. It's gonna be fun.
Where did all this cheese come from? Oh crap! He just shat all over
Like
himself.
all the cabbages.
All of them.
Absolutely.
Every single one.
They'll probably. Oh, go.
There'll be like 60 different ways to die. One of them will be killed by bears, dragons. You'll just have to grow a new Dovahkiin. It's gonna be great.
Mark,
That'll be awesome.
I just returned to growing a new Dovahkiin, and I'm excited.
Yeah,
Skyrim on the Tamagotchi.
this
You
new
know,
thing.
I'm
You get it on a
severely upset.
keychain. You know.
You know, to be
I'm
fair,
severely upset that Skyrim has become the re-release bitch, because I thoroughly enjoyed Skyrim. I really did enjoy playing it. I've put
I loved it.
about 700 hours.
it's a good game, but you don't need it
Yeah.
on every single platform. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Especially if you're not going to improve anything or add anything to it, aside from
Exactly.
maybe Link's Sword and Shield,
Right.
which is dumb. So as far as that goes, that's Skyrim. They'll be like, hey, it's on your
Yeah.
iWatch now. Go have fun.
Yeah.
But I think for
Yeah.
Skyrim, Bethesda.
for
And,
Fallout
who
76,
Maybe you will hear about an Elder Scrolls 6.
maybe they're still
if
doing
that's-
Elder Scrolls Online.
Maybe.
Yeah, they are doing online, so they probably will be talking about the next expansion for that.
So,
they just had summer.
On that
I'm kind
note,
of terrified that Fallout 76 is online.
I was just gonna say, on that note, what if Fallout 76 is an online MMO Vault community game?
There has been a lot of talk that it will be an online survival game, probably in the style of Rust.
So a crafting survival game?
Sort of like a crafting survival game, and that it might revolve around specifically a vault, which is why it's named after the vault. Like it would be like actually building your vault and using that as a hub.
Which kind of makes
Maybe
sense in lore. 76 is supposed to be the released troll thing.
Right, that's a control vault, so they're supposed to world terrific and enjoy all
Make
of the wonder.
America great again.
Make America, yeah, make America not a hellscape again.
But here's the
Wait,
thing.
when was America not a hellscape?
You know,
Was that like 1400? Or...
There's like 1200 something.
Yeah, there we go. There.
Yeah,
1200,
just
it was
go as
really-
far back as you can.
right? It's really great.
So here's the question though for Fallout 76. My thought process is by looking at the trailer that it is built using the Fallout 4 engine. Because from the time that Fallout 4 came out to the time now, it hasn't been that long.
No,
I highly doubt they built a whole new system for
I
game.
will put your mind at ease. They did not. They are using the Fallout 4 engine.
Okay.
Everything that I've heard says that is
They wouldn't
absolutely
be able
true.
to time.
I mean, you can overhaul all the textures, but engines take a while.
Oh yeah,
Right.
But engines take like I'd argue an engine takes about 8 years, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
Depends how
Yeah.
you build them.
Yeah.
Usually it's piecemeal.
So there is that. I mean, they have said it will have at least a multiplayer component or a cooperative component of some kind.
Maybe it'll
Only gonna be
be
that? I don't know.
it'll be Fallout Shelter, but in first person.
I think the
Yeah.
best they could do with this is the cooperative component trading with other settlements that other people have set up.
Mm.
So you collect a whole lot of. Let's say your area has a ton of scrap battery, but you can't find a single. Stupid. You can trade and interact with people like that. That could be a very interesting sort of online market component to a.
See, I think if they're doing Fallout 76 as the online survival type game, where it's multiplayer, and you get to build your own settlements or vaults or whatever, I feel like having it be an open, like, not like your traditional Blizzard MMO, but like an open MMO, where yes, there are towns, you can build your own town, you have this location, you can build these, and they're on the map, and you can join different locations or whatever, couple different servers. But you let it be so people can choose the roles they want to have. And then what happens is you get people who want to play as raiders, people who want to play as like a community, people who just want to like piss people off. You have all those different types of gamers all in one game at that point.
Yeah.
And that would make
Yeah.
the Wasteland insane, and it would make the game incredibly fun and difficult.
Because the raiders would be the kind of people who are good at killing, but the kind of people who collect into a community would be the kind of set up for.
Right, so you'd have this really interesting balance going on. And it could be really fun. But I don't know that they're going to do that. It's just a thought that could be cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's possible. I mean, I think the one thing that was concerning for a lot of people was, one, Bethesda's really good at doing single-player experiences.
When you say good,
yeah,
you mean they're good at making single-player gameplay experiences.
okay.
Their storytelling has
Fine.
been really lacking.
Recently, they've got a good track record.
I mean, I guess it depends on what you would consider good storytelling. I think what Bethesda excels at is letting you discover the story however you care to, instead of really giving you a consistent narrative throughout.
Yeah, they're not so good at that.
I mean, they have little pockets of really great story, like in Fallout 3, you go to Andale, or I can't remember the name of it. But
it was yeah.
the small town of cannibals right there, and you didn't know that right away, but you had to talk to everyone.
Yeah.
And that's brilliant. Or in Fallout 4, the garage of beat poets, basically.
Yes. the alley cast. Yeah.
Yeah, the alley cat.
That's really what they need to play on again. They need to pull that back to that sort of element, which is what I saw a lot of the negative comments about Fallout 4 was not giving that depth of investigative player experience narrative.
Right. Yeah. And at the same time, I remember, because, I mean, we're fairly close to Boston. We're in New Hampshire, so I've been there.
Heyo.
And, heyo. And my favorite parts about that is I'm just wandering probably from one quest marker to another. And I thought to myself, you know what's weird? I haven't seen the USS Constitution. And usually they dock it in Boston. Old Ironsides. And it's funny because I kind of thought that they might have it in the game. And like as soon as I thought that, this old ship lodged in the top of a building. I go up to it. There, like a robot in a pirate hat comes up to me and starts asking for my help. Comes across and says USS Constitution as as a map point. This whole story of, oh yes, the USS Constitution, they gave it like an ion drive, and then it got lodged in the top of Boston Savings and Loan. And now a crew of robots is trying to figure out a way that they can finally get off of this blasted building to do it. But there are raiders that are trying to take over the ship. So
Yeah, so there's all these really brilliant little story points here and there.
yeah.
You know, but yeah, that whole collective story sometimes isn't quite as solid as you would like it to be.
Yeah, and I think the main storyline of Fallout 4 kind of was kind of meh.
Find your son eventually. Maybe.
Because that son is so important to you. Yeah.
But first,
I'm gonna find Sean.
Save the capital. Save the wasteland first.
I think what Bethesda needed to learn was how few players finished the Civil War quest line Skyrim. How few people care, or just find the percentage of people who played both the Civil War quest line and the Dragonborn quest line to completion.
I did both finally because I forced myself to the last time I played through with my orc warrior.
Tell me, how many 100 hours?
Not that many 100 hours because I focused on those storylines.
But
Do it.
fair enough. It took me about 500 to try that.
Yeah.
I've put in a lot of hours over the years, but during that one playthrough, it was like I need to actually finish the central storyline of the Civil War and the dragons. Those are the two I'm going for. Then I'll be like, I beat Skyrim. Fuck you.
You
Yeah.
beat Skyrim. Well done.
Congratulations. But do you ever really? I don't know. Alex, your
Yes.
thoughts on the didn't find the Civil War part very interesting. I did finish it
It
both
was.
sides just to see what happened.
I mean, it wasn't bad, but it was just like, oh, here, go do this and kill these people. Cool, good job. Now do it again. Cool, good job. Now
Yeah.
do it a couple more times, and then do it one more time, and then take Whiterun.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
was like,
Pick the side you want and then prove it 6 times.
yeah, there was no real difference for me between the Imperials and the Stormcloaks, so.
They're pretty similar. Like for you as a player, little difference in terms of what they bring to the table as the Dragonborn.
Yeah. And then,
Maybe it matters to the people, but
I don't know.
didn't really matter too much. But so yeah, we may eventually get a 6, and then they can do 50 million iterations of that like they did with Skyrim. But I don't think that's what they have up their sleeve, though. I get the feeling that they were going to talk a little bit about Fallout 76. That will probably be what they start with. And then after people are kind of going, oh, cool, like an online Fallout game, Todd Howard just coming out and saying, anyone want to play Starfield? Do a trailer of Starfield and then say, oh yeah, and it's out like in 3 months, so you guys enjoy.
So what is
Brass,
You give
Starfield
Todd Howard
anyways?
a lot of credit there.
Well, I was very impressed when he did that Fallout 4 press conference. That was like one of those things where it was it's like, we really care about Fallout. Here's a trailer, comes out in 6 months. There's also a mobile game we made. It's available right now. Bye.
That is true. They did drop Fallout Shelter, like, with no notice. They're like, by the way, here's a game. Go play it.
Yeah. Oh, and if you're wondering when you can play it, yeah, you can play it right now after the conference. Hope you enjoyed that. Oh, and by the way, Fallout 4, this big game that we've been making that you didn't really know anything about, yeah, it launches before the end of the year. All right, everybody, have a good night. We're out. And then he just drops
we
the
forgot
mic
the
and
final
walks.
speech. Here, go have fun.
Forget everything you saw here today. But like, just from seeing the way they even revealed the trailer for Fallout 76, you can see they love to make events out of things. Like, they had 24 hours of a live stream on Twitch where they did freaking nothing. They bobbled the little bobblehead and put it to sleep at night and had a little puppet come on once in a while, but most of the time just 50,000 people just watching a please stand by sign on a television.
It's
For
pageantry.
24 hours. It is. They're good at it.
It's hype.
They're good at it. So that's why I kind of feel like they decided to talk a little bit about that so people would be talking about it instead of Starfield. And Starfield is an original IP that Bethesda has under their belt that they hadn't really done anything with before. It's something that's been in development for a very, very long time. And basically, it's a space-themed open world game. That's pretty much what we know. I kind of imagine it as if No Man's Sky was something Bethesda made instead of Hello Games. And if it ends up being that, that's going to be a big deal. In that. If that ends up being...
It'll be Elite Dangerous.
It's going to be better than... I did not like Elite. Elite Dangerous is too complicated.
For you.
When I need to do 16 things to dock a spaceship, it's too many things.
You only need to do 3 things, and it's decrease your speed, don't crash, and put your landing gear down.
Do you go from one system to another in Elite Danger? I kept trying to figure it out, and I swear I could not land on a planet or anything else.
You can't land
in
on the
Elite
planets,
Danger.
Nathan.
That's the first problem.
You can land
Yeah,
on
I
some of
want-
them if you have horizons, but you can't land on all the planets, Nathan.
Want to land on everything.
Then
They did it with
Then
escape
play No Man's Sky.
velocity. Oh, no Man's Sky. They did it with escape velocity like 20 years ago. I could land on planets. Just let me land on a damn planet. So that's why I'm excited if that's what they're actually talking about with Starfield. If it's actually like where you could go to different planets and there was like actual space colonies and you could be a person going around instead of being a ship. That would be.
I am a person.
I understand that you're a person, but in the Elite Dangerous, though, your person doesn't really do anything outside of the ship, right?
Not really.
Again, I like the idea of somebody controlling the ship, able to be autonomous from the ship.
You're a ship.
You're a towel. So we don't really know all that much about it, but with as long as it's been in development, they think that maybe we might see something on that.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe. So
'Cause I get
what comes
the
after Bethesda?
Bethesda. Who's next? Is Devolver Digital.
That's familiar, but I don't know what games they make.
Yeah, I was looking at what they had for the E3 showcase, and it looks like the one thing that they're Wolf Chaos, which seems to be like their version of like the From Software line. Something to be in that like rogue-like,
So it's a Souls genre.
kind of like a
For a quick
Souls
breakdown
game.
of who they are, they made Hotline Miami, Shadow Warrior 2, and Robo.
Oh, yeah.
Who they are.
Thank you. I really get into Hotline Miami, so
I found Hotline Miami, and it was it was definitely odd. It had that sort of rogue appeal of you get one shot or you're dead, but without losing days of progress. You can try this 600 times and fail 600 times, but the 601th time, definitely not the way I say that. You succeed
Right.
doing it perfectly, and it's that I think they really succeed at that. In the Souls mindset, they succeed in that perfect victory sort of outcome.
yeah. It is right now just a Japanese-only game that's Xbox exclusive, and it's a mech game, which would probably explain why it's Metal Wolf Chaos. So it's looking like they might actually port that. I think it is From Software that actually made Metal Wolf Chaos. Might be that Devolver is just bringing it over to the United States.
I have no idea.
That might be what's happening.
I like mechs. Who doesn't like mech fights?
Right?
People that are scared of robots, probably.
People like Titanfall.
I mean, I guess.
Who doesn't? Actually, I don't think I've played Titanfall, but I've heard good things.
Titanfall 2 has an amazing story.
Yeah, surprisingly, huh? I never thought that I could say that about a mech game.
Have you never watched Evangelion?
Hey,
I think you know I have not.
All right then. You can have mechs and good storyline, Nathan.
Great.
you can have mechs and depressed teenagers.
Lots of depressed teenagers. those are your always your mech pilots. Are you suicidal? Yeah, why? You're getting in a mech.
Anime checklist right there. Depressed teenagers, giant mechs. You're good.
Do you hate your life?
I remember.
Do you have teen angst? Well, we've got the job for you.
We're gonna make you battle giants and battling mechs.
The funny part about that is pretty much every pilot of a mech in any anime is pretty much a teenager.
To
Yes.
be fair, A huge chunk of the protagonists are teenagers that have way too many responsibilities.
Yeah. I mean, but the thing there is that in all the animes, all the mech animes, the pilots on the like the characters that you're actually watching and that you are supposed to care about are usually always teenagers, and then it's like usually adults are like the people they're fighting.
True.
It's a thing. It's a real thing.
That's terrific.
It's yeah. I don't know what that is trying to say about the world.
I don't know, but you started talking about anime, so I don't care anymore.
Fair.
Monday, June 11th, we with Square Enix.
Oh, great! So they can ruin more Legacy of Kain for everybody.
I still love the fact that Final Fantasy exists, and I've never played a single one.
You're not missing a whole lot.
No, I'm not. I figured that one out mainly because
Good,
I'm
good.
Come on,
Gonna be able to play Final Fantasy VII for the first time like it's brand new.
Please no.
You mean the 7th turn-based strategy game where you have to fight God and the girl that's kind of the romantic interest dies, even though you have a
just like
revival
15.
element all the way through that suddenly doesn't work?
Yeah, the Phoenix Feather doesn't work on that if it's in a cutscene. That's how
The
it works.
7th iteration of that trope, yeah.
Absolutely.
I
Did they
think
do
the
that
problem
in
is I
10?
don't like turn-based combat that much.
I don't know.
No, not in 10.
No, the girl didn't die. The guy turns out to be a dream, but you do kill a god, essentially.
I mean, if you didn't kill a god, it's a waste of time. But
So the love interest doesn't die, but he does disappear. So
In 15, the love interest does die, but you actually get control of basically some gods so that you can defeat some other gods, and then basically just this guy with fantastic hair that apparently was supposed to be the dude that did what you did
oh, that's way better.
is way better.
Yeah, let me have my real fantasy, fantastic hair.
are we
Yeah.
talking about Devil May Cry, or are we talking about
LB. No,
Square-
we're talking about Final Fantasy 15, believe it or not.
Oh, because Dante's got fantastic hair, the teen angst, the humor, and his love interests usually die as well.
You know what?
He doesn't kill gods, though. He kills demons and angels.
No, then actually come to think of it, because there's a whole thing in 15 where demons come out at night and you have to battle really powerful ones. Noctis is kind of like Dante. He has like magical swords and he can do giant leap tricks and like jump way up into the air and
Listen,
do
Nathan.
multi-combos.
Listen,
Yeah.
Nathan. Dante doesn't have magical swords. He has ebony and ivory, and they're guns.
But he does have a sword too.
He has a sword. It is technically
I am right.
a magical
you.
blade, I guess, because it was from his father.
Yeah,
But
actually,
that's not the same thing. It's fuck off.
his weapons come from his ancestors because he's from a royal bloodline, so he has the royal arms.
No one cares about that anymore.
No one cares about Final Fantasy. Who cares about Final Fantasy except all the people that care about Final Fantasy?
I had a lot of fun with all the Final Fantasies up to, say, 10 or so. And then I just sort of lost interest after that. But, I mean, for me, they were a lot of fun, you know, multiple hours for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, so my experience kind of runs counter to what you're talking about here. I mean, now I experienced 15, but...
I did like 10. 10 I really enjoyed, but the rest of them I did not really care for too much. I think
So
10,
what's Square
8.
Enix actually bringing to E3?
Yeah, what are they actually bringing to E3 aside from like Final Fantasy like 16?
Or Final Fantasy 15.2.
They don't usually do that.
What's
That
the
was like 10. They only did that with 10, I think. And 7.
And for the I did not finish any of the Final Fantasies until 15, and I was okay with 15. But then at the end, I really liked it. It did a good job wrapping it up. But that's beside the point. Things that they are going to talk... Oh, yes, I am just realizing that's going to be the big news for them is going to be Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah,
That's got to be the big part.
Kingdom
that's-
Hearts X-17-4 Chains
Three-
of Memories
Three
redo.
3.5, 17 Unchained, 150 over 268.
High
Uh,
E to the 0 minus 1.
Let's be
find
honest.
for X.
It's gonna be Kingdom Hearts 3.141593.
If it was 3.1541596, I'd be happy.
Kingdom Pie Hearts.
They'll put the name up at the top, and they'll just keep wrapping around the entire case until you run out of space.
It just goes across that random electronic banner that goes around the floor. It just keeps going, and
Yes.
going, and then it just said sponsored by Energizer. That was a stupidly extensive joke, and I apologize.
Not nearly as extensive as most of ours, so you're in good shape. Yeah, I imagine that you're going to hear more about Final Fantasy VII Remake, but you are probably going to mostly be hearing about all of the finally, and also their untitled Avengers project.
They have. Oh Jesus.
I am kind of curious on that one, just
me too.
because Avengers has been getting, or the MCU and Marvel and the various related properties have been getting a lot looser on their restrictions on that intellectual property when they give it out, and just been kind of letting companies do what they want with it.
They're taking the Games Workshop approach to it of here's the license, do what you want.
Well, Games Workshop was a shotgun blast, and then going, you're doing good. Okay, you can go for it. You are staying with that.
To be fair,
Yeah.
it's worked out really well for Games
Oh, yeah.
Workshop.
And I think that's why Marvel's kind of letting that slide. But I'm kind of curious to what's going to happen with them slowly relaxing their grip on it, especially since Disney's taken ownership of the MCU.
Right,
Since they're they're Disney.
right.
They're
ours
iron
now.
grip.
I think what they
Right.
would probably do is say you can do what you want, but it's not canon. Or it takes place in an alternate dimension MCU.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
It's not technically the MCU if it's a video game.
Exactly.
It's still the Marvel universe. It's not the cinematic universe, though.
Yeah, but I think Marvel Studios is what Disney owns. So they have license over the actual movies, like the cinematic part, the television shows and that thing. But
It's a
Any
weird
other
license
thing-
at best, since other.
If Batman can have 12 different Robins, we can have 6 different versions of Thor, okay?
that's true.
Well, we're getting like 5 of Spider-Man in a single movie, but
That actually looks cool.
that looks interesting. But
That
off
looks
topic.
interesting. Yeah. If it makes you excited at all, I don't know if it will, but 2 of the studios that are mentioned in the little announcement trailer for the Avengers are Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal.
Ooh. They're still
You
around.
interested yet?
They're still around?
Yeah.
Those
They work for
companies,
Square, but yeah.
they haven't produced, I don't think they've produced a game in a number of years under their own names. Eidos and Crystal Dynamics were the people that made the Legacy of Kain series.
Eidos has still been making a lot of stuff. I think that they've still been the new Deus Ex ones was Eidos.
And Crystal Dynamics specifically did the Legacy of Kain Blood Omen games.
Crystal Dynamics was a great game studio.
They-
Still is.
Storyline, holy shit.
I had to look them up because I remember they had so many great. Oh yeah, they made a lot of the. Oh, silly me! They made the new Tomb Raider games.
Crystal Dynamics did?
And
It's interesting.
they made that. That's right, they did. They
Did
made
anybody
the,
else
and
other
so,
than me play Legacy of Kain? I
but
take the silence as a no.
which actually must mean that they're probably going to be talking about Shadow of the Tomb Raider at Square Enix's conference we talking about that?
Possibly, yeah.
This year, so they're gonna have more about that. Yeah, no, Crystal Dynamics had such good stuff. Yeah, they made Soul Reaver. Yep, Legacy of Kain. Gex. if that makes you feel any better. Snowblind. They had a lot of really good games. There was one really old one that I remember playing, but I don't
Crystal
know if
Dynamics
it's
is good.
here.
Their storytelling abilities are top notch. As long as they haven't changed in like 10 years. And their gameplay is still top notch too. So that is exciting. That
Well,
will
if
be
you
interesting.
ever get if you ever get a chance to, I know it's kind of off topic, but if you ever get a chance to play those two new Tomb Raider games, the Tomb Raider and Rise of the Tomb Raider, those are really well designed games. They had great gameplay, and so I think you'd appreciate it. Actually, they had some gameplay elements coming to think after playing like Legacy of Kain. I think it kind of reminds me a little bit of that. So I'm
Oh,
sure they brought some of that
I mean,
over.
you got to remember, like, DMC in those games were all around. Like, the original Devil May Cry was around at the time of Legacy of Kain as well.
Right.
So I think
Right.
Legacy of Kain had a big influence on some of those, possibly. Because Soul Reaver 2, Blood Omen 2 were all combat, but they were also investigative puzzles as well. A bit. Especially Soul Reaver, that one was a lot more of a puzzle game. So that's like a precursor to God of War.
Yes. So anyway, that should get maybe that gets you excited for the new Avengers game that's being
It gets me
brought out.
interested, that's for sure.
That's a good powerhouse team to be bringing to the table for that. And that's pretty much what you're going to hear about with Square Enix.
Oh, good.
One that comes after that is going to be Ubisoft, and so another Assassin's Creed game. We're gonna have Greece this time. I
Oh,
know that
boy.
much.
Oh,
It's
boy.
ancient Greece. Yay!
No, don't you know? It's a partnership with Nintendo. We're gonna get the hat throwing the whole time.
Nice. We're gonna throw his hood.
They had the team up that they did for Origins, where they had like a crossover between the Assassin's Creed franchise and the Final Fantasy franchise.
I appreciated was essentially just fan service,
Yes,
to be honest. But
it really was.
I don't know.
But I got a great shield and sword out of it, so I'm good.
That's right. I loved the Assassin's Creed game since the second one, where I picked up the second one and the first one, played them back to back.
I realize the second one's way better.
Well, yes, but the first one I can appreciate for what it did. It's one of those weird games where I can actually look back at the first game, see what changed to make it better, and go, no, that was still good. Like,
Yeah.
the first game succeeded because you had 9 targets with very unique situations that the AI could not handle.
Right.
Therefore, every time you played it, you got a weird situation that was fun to deal with.
Yeah. And it was oddly, I mean, compared to later Assassin's Creed games, it was very, very straightforward in how it ran. It was very, very linear by comparison to a lot of the later games. But it's really hard when you have a new IP. Studios do have a tendency that first iteration of something that, when we got the original Assassin's Creed game, people don't think about it now because it's been so long, but there really weren't any games like that. That was like a stealth-based open world game. So when you come up with the first iteration, you're gonna have some working out.
It's gonna have holes, and the fact that Assassin's Creed 2 was so successful was impressive. And I followed the series up till Unity, where the point of Unity I had to choose: do I want to pay rent this month, or do I want a new Assassin's Creed game? And I looked Thriller, and I got really excited. I went, wait a minute, you're telling me I have an Assassin's Creed story about 4 assassins forming their brotherhood within the French Revolution? And Ubi goes, no, it's a multiplayer campaign. Okay, I'm not pre-ordering, thanks.
Yeah. And the way they implemented it in Unity was really weird. I was playing like just a single player game in Unity. That's all I wanted to do. And then you'd get onto quests and people would just end up in your game. Like there'd just be somebody I never met before would just be a character that came into my game, and now they're playing the mission with me.
Because it's not
I
like
don't-
there's these requirements you also wanted to meet.
No, not at all. And unfortunately, they really try to force multiplayer on your single player experience, and I really wish they wouldn't do that. Luckily, when they got to Origins, I didn't see hide nor hair of that.
Yes.
Like they just said,
So-
"Okay, never mind."
I'll say this. The way I see it, or Assassin's Creed Origins, it's a good game. But I miss the style of Assassin's Creed where, no, I'm jumping from the top of this church and stabbing that dude to death in one hit. I don't care what level
he is?
he is. That really is one of the reasons it's been taking me so long to finish that game.
I finished it, and I was happy I finished it. And I think I maxed my level out and everything. It is a little bit jarring, though. You're right. Like I jump from a top of building, or I do a headshot with my bow, and he turns around and goes, "What was that?" And then you realize, oh right, he's level 20 and I'm level 10, so
So those 3 arrows in his eyes, so don't actually hurt him.
it doesn't really work quite as well.
You gotta
Yeah.
shoot him in
Because
the
it's
knees.
more of an RPG, right? Yeah, that worked
The
well in
RPG
Skyrim.
And I think the main issue is just because I didn't. There was definitely an area path they wanted you to follow, but I mean, you go, well, I want to see more. So.
Yeah, I think
Wait, they're
it's
30th level and I'm 10th? It'll be fine.
they were edging a lot more on the side of making it more of a role-playing game.
Mm.
I think that's really where you get those. And if you played Syndicate, you kind of know that they were already kind of going in that direction because there were skill trees in Syndicate. But they really doubled down on Origins. I think they did a great job with the combat system. I'm sure it's going to be the same combat system you see in Ancient Greece in the next one.
Yeah, that was. I'll be honest. I was surprised at how good it was. Where there was a brief moment where I was playing it, going, "They didn't try to Dark Souls, did they?" And I played it and I went, "Oh no, they didn't. They just took the elements that worked and decided this is a good idea. We should build upon."
Yeah,
Shock.
yeah.
Also,
So-
I'll be the first to say, I liked Assassin's Creed multiplayer, but only the one where it's free for all, no bonus thing,
Yeah.
because that was the best version of Assassin's Creed multiplayer that ever existed. Because it's not about, what level you are. It's, do you have a microphone? Start psyching it.
Yeah. I don't know. Part of me feels like Assassin's Creed has multiplayer capacity. It's got to be tricky if you're doing a stealth game. Having just said that, I started to think, well, no, wait a second. They did implement, and this was Ubisoft, come to think of it, in Splinter Cell. Totally a stealth game. They had a multiplayer component to that. One was a co-op, but then they had an adversarial one where they had the mercenaries versus the spies. And that was a really innovative idea. That was a really new idea. You can do it. I just don't know if it works so well with the way they laid out Assassin's Creed.
I'm interested. In the end, Odyssey is a chance for them to go, we still want you to have fun playing the Hitman. You're taking out high-level targets. But
Yeah.
we want you to also be engaged with the fact that you can go into an area, and if you get caught, you're probably gonna die. And that's the balance I want.
Mhm.
There are areas where you could get screwed because you got caught. So you need to be creative. And there's areas where
Mhm.
if they find
Yeah.
that balance again, they're gonna do 'em.
Good for them. I guess that's something to look forward to. It's oh yeah, there is that other possibility.
Which
So-
one is that?
Well, Ubisoft might also release another game. When they dropped all those game titles as like placeholders for 5 seconds. One of the things they listed was Splinter Cell 2018. Ooh, we might get a new Splinter Cell game, which I'd be so happy about.
When's the last time we had a Splinter Cell game?
It was Blacklist, and that was at least 3 years ago, if not 4.
That's
A while.
that. What makes that interesting to me is I've been playing a lot of Rainbow Six Siege in the last, getting into it late, and they're still putting a decent amount of effort into that game because continuously productive model. So would they take away resources to a new first person single player campaign shooter, or is it not going to be single player campaign exclusive? What's it going to be?
Yeah.
It's an interesting. That is definitely one. If they announce, I'm really curious to pull with it.
Oh yeah. You know what was interesting is there was a whole thing. I played Wildlands when that came out, Ghost Recon Wildlands, and I thought that was okay, but I wasn't really engaged with it. There was a whole thing in the DLC they did where they showed Sam Fisher, and Sam Fisher was like in a cutscene, and I thought to myself, if you just gave me like the Wildlands setup, Sam Fisher, and it was missions like Splinter Cell missions in that world, do that. I think I'd rather play that. Interested to see if they would do something like that, but I'm not sure if they will. They are other things. Ubisoft's going to have an interesting year. They're also going to be talking about a few other things. I'm sure they're going to be talking, I'm guessing, about Division 2 and Watch Dogs 3 operations on the same damn thing. And Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Whoa.
We'll probably be talking a lot more about. And
You are very surprised. And did you not hear about that? Because I've been hearing. I thought I heard about that a few months ago.
I did not hear about that.
I remember they actually gave a trailer of it like last year or the year before, but they did talk about how it's probably gonna be a ways down the road. I think we might actually get a good idea of when it will release, though.
I think their trailer was the trailer they made was very interesting, but it kind of broke what the opinion of Beyond Good and Evil was supposed to be.
It looks very different than the original game.
Yeah, the mood and look is very different, so they kind of tipped away from it.
It's in the same world, but it definitely felt like a completely different game experience. The way they had it. I'm intrigued. It definitely looks like the kind of thing that they are putting a lot of time and resources into and a lot of talented people behind. So I'm sure they're going to try to make an event when they drop. I will be interested to see what the game actually looks like. It's probably not going to be anything like the original Beyond Good and Evil, which was a great game.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like more of a Zelda style game. It wasn't particularly long, but it was endlessly replayable because it was just so much fun, and so they did a great job on world building. And really, so I guess if they just expand upon that, that should make it a very interesting title that will stand out. There is also talk that there is a piracy combat game, which just makes me think that we're going to talk about Sea of Thieves all over again, but they have one coming out called Skull and Bones.
Sounds like a society thing. No?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think it's like that, Alex. That's more for a Far Cry game in the future, I think.
Oh, okay.
That's a different series for them.
Wonder if we're coming out with Minecraft 2 yet.
Oh God, I don't know.
I mean, they've been milking that cash cow for a while now.
16-bit graphics now?
Creepers are twice the size.
Oh my god. Oh, creepers in high definition. Oh my god, I'm so
You can
scared.
see the organs go straight into your eye.
Oh wow, that would be amazing. Um,
I think the only problem that Microsoft has with owning that title is the fact that you cannot release for that. You can continually sell it, will continue to sell, but it's done with being promoted.
Yeah, you don't have to
It-
promote
yeah.
it. It promotes
You
itself.
don't have to. It's good it's good as it is, but you have to continue to update this, otherwise it's going to dry out. You're going to start losing money because the only people that are supporting it are the community that's already invested. It's an interesting. It's like It's part of the reason Skyrim or hell, the reason Morrowind still got a popular modding. Minecraft's going to continue to be successful. Morrowind's going to continue to sell copies for no reason other than there's a community around it.
People forget they already own it and buy it again.
I don't know how often that happens, but more often than I'm comfortable with people doing.
yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. So there is that. So it's looking like if they're good or bad, Ubisoft will just have a lot of stuff. It's pretty much what you could say.
You never know what Ubisoft's going to bring.
You don't.
It's going to be interesting.
And they're still
really
better
don't.
Than, they're still better than EA, so.
Low bar to set, but yeah.
There's almost no bar.
Actually, so I looked at the chat a while ago, and since just to bring back EA, there was a question on the names of first-person shooter multiplayer. Call of Duty Black Ops 4 coming out, which, in my opinion, is okay.
Yeah,
Call of Duty
Battlefield
Black Ops 4.
V
Yeah.
is what I'd rather call it.
Yeah, Battlefield 5. Yeah, I mean, does anyone have any opinions on Black Ops 4?
that it should probably be in a dumpster fire.
I mean, I
It's
imagine
gonna be the trend. Everyone's gonna go. Well, at least the 3 generations ago did this well, and that's just gonna be the trend of Call of Duty.
I'm going to say that Black Ops 4 is probably going to remind you a lot of Black Ops 3.
But here's the thing: people still buy it, and people
Wait.
still play it. A lot of people.
Yes. Still play the new Madden game when it comes out too. It's
That's
just
different. People don't want to get off their couches to go play sports, Nathan.
Fair enough. I have bad knees. I want to feel like an athlete, but also people don't want to go out and shoot each other. That's why you have Black Ops 4.
I'm sorry. We're in America. That's debatable.
Hey,
It depends what
also
state you're in, and whether PvP is enabled.
I would like to disable PvP for the world, please.
like
There
it's
are
PvE.
there are currently PvP enabled zones. Travel there. I think
Yeah.
Call of Duty is best associated with Madden, FIFA. FIFA more appropriate, really, because it sells every year because there's a group there's a grouping, a demographic that's sizable enough to make it every year profitable.
Mhm.
Doesn't matter how
Yep.
good of a game you make, they're going to jump in, they're going to play it, they're going to buy it, they're going to make money.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they don't have to do much with Call of Duty anymore.
You get a gun,
can-
you go shoot things. Also, we added zombies that are also Nazis.
Which sucks for the developers.
Yeah,
It's just,
I mean,
hey, yeah, Activision guys, you're gonna make another Call of Duty game, but what about other ideas? Nope. No, you're gonna make this.
they used to make
Battlefield?
like Spider-Man games, right? Those were pretty good.
No, you don't get to do
we
that.
did other things. Nope. Okay. No. Actually, Insomniac's doing that now.
Does
so.
does Activision Blizzard actually have anything at E3, or do they have it all saved up for BlizzCon?
Probably
You know
Black
what?
Ops.
Probably.
That's probably it.
Probably
to which?
meeting.
Probably
They'll
saving it for
wait
BlizzCon? Okay.
They'll probably wait till
Well,
BlizzCon.
well, they have their own convention every year anyways, and what do they need E3 for?
Oh, actually, no. Apparently, Activision will have some stuff. Yeah, Black Ops Royale. They're probably gonna have stuff for. Spyro returns.
Oh yeah, that's
Man, and Destiny 2 Forsaken.
Okay,
That's the
so I
DLC.
guess my rephrasal would be, Blizzard doesn't have anything there, but Activision does.
Division.
Because
honestly it almost feels
BlizzCon,
like they bought Activision so they could have an E3 division,
maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
an active E3 division.
so they have other games to branch out of, but I mean, Blizzard does well for itself, so
The question I
they're
have.
consistent.
they are consistent. They constantly put out pretty good games.
You have the long-term consistency of Blizzard's good games, and then the short-term consistency of Call of Duty games. Blizzard gonna make money forever.
Yep, and then with
Yeah.
just pumping out World of Warcraft every couple of years.
Okay.
Diablo, which, and then Overwatch,
Which is where their money's going to be spent now. I feel like they're looking for the esports market now, because there's a lot of money in it.
Yep.
And I don't blame them.
well, they lost a lot of people playing World of Warcraft over the last several years. They've lost a lot.
No, it's been out forever.
It's been bleeding. It's been bleeding for ages. It's not losing quite as much as people like to think.
No, they still have
Because
pretty big.
what happens is someone comes out and says, "We're going to be the World of Warcraft." So the people who really liked WoW jumped into it and go, after a few months, go, kind of want to play World of Warcraft again, and jump back into the thing they have a subscription for.
Yep.
Their subscription, they reboot their account, and they play for a few more.
I do that. I just don't exchange WoW for anything else. I go, I can't play this right now. I need to go take a break. And then I'll come back a couple months before a new expansion, play some of the new expansion, go, bored now. It's all, top level rating content. Nothing that I actually want to do. Let's play something else.
Though, so this is becoming the MMO grind channel.
Yeah.
Battlefield 5. What are we expecting from that? I have no idea what's coming.
Oh, I
don't
well,
know.
I tell you what, I can find out.
I'm
but
super picky with my first person shooters because I grew up with Halo and Half-Life. That
Yeah.
I can't play Call of Duty or Black Ops or Battlefield or Medal of Honor. It's just too.
Do you have a current first-person shooter that you play?
I don't think I do.
So
Random Curio?
Space Marine I enjoyed, but I don't just sit there and play it. But that's not first person, that's third person.
okay, so some
I
stuff we
don't think I
know
have one.
about Battlefield 5. It is set during World War II.
Oh, well, that's of course it
And
is.
that's good. Well, not
let
all
me
the
rephrase
Battlefield
that.
games.
Who do you fight as?
Oh, I don't know. Whoever you want to, I guess.
Probably both sides.
But here's the big news, I guess. The game has no loot boxes and all maps are free.
Oh boy.
That's actually a break from the second part. Is actually a break from Battlefields. That's kind of surprising to me.
Yes, they are ditching the premium pass model of past games in favor of giving players access to maps and modes for free as part of an ongoing service model called Turning Tides.
So what they're gonna do is charge you for skins?
Yeah, they're probably going to charge you on a monthly basis.
If it works for Riot, it'll work for EA.
Exactly!
I mean, if it works for Riot, if it works for CSGO, if it works for
But hey,
Team
I'm
Fortress.
one of those people who will straight up go, well, that means I don't have to pay to play the game and play it.
Right.
And it's a good model because that's how you hook people.
That's how you get people to buy the cosmetics. They go, the game's free, why not?
Yep. The only difference is most of the games where I know that people go, might as well buy the cosmetics, they go, I don't mind supporting the developer. Whereas Battlefield, you go, EA's gonna get profit. Fuck them.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
Um, so, I mean, I guess there is that, but I mean, it seems like EA is really going more for games as services. I know that that's what they're trying to do with a lot of their pieces. So maybe they're thinking that they can get a consistent income from people instead of doing like one-time things, so that you don't get separated by DLC ownership or anything like that. But I I don't know. I think EA is just trying to find new ways to make tons of money off of people. I don't know how well that's going to work. It's better than getting nickel and dimed, I suppose. But
I agree with that. Like if they try to work towards a more current, reasonable market without trying to just go, give me a wallet. I think I'd be a lot more pleased with EA, and I think they kind of lose that sort of wallet money grubbing reputation.
I mean, honestly, if EA wanted to go for taking all of your money, they would probably stick to mobile and casual games, because those rake in way more money than they should, and they cost a lot less to produce.
mm-hmm. Um. So, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 releases in October. The PC version is coming to BattleNet. So,
Yep.
right
Well,
over
yeah,
there with
it's-
Overwatch and World of Warcraft and all those.
I think it's
I
actually.
think that's actually kind of funny because now you have Destiny 2, Black Ops 4, and Overwatch being used on the same PC service.
Hmm.
I feel like that's gonna cut more. That's gonna cut into what they want. That's gonna cut out of their cut out of their market price or market share rather than add.
I think it'll do the opposite, because people who play one will then see the other in their launcher and go, "Hey, this has an event. Whoo, maybe I should play it." But also, it makes it easier on their end because they only need the one launcher and the one service for it. So I think it probably cuts down the operation costs as well.
I have to read this part that somebody wrote about the game to explain, because you were asking about zombies.
I wasn't asking about them, but I did.
Well,
mention
you
them.
said there. So what I read from this little paragraph is the zombies mode has been taken back to the drawing board for Black Ops 4. The first outing focuses on an ancient order intent on twisting the population into undead hordes, which you'll have to team up with friends to take down. And the new characters, Charlotte, Bruno, Diego, and Shaw, are all playable and unique in terms of equipment and mechanics.
So they Team
Sure.
Fortress the
So it's a
zombie
co-op.
mode.
Co-op against the Umbrella Corporation, I guess. That's what it sounds like.
I want to be the heavy.
Yeah.
Can I be the heavy?
There's a. It looks like there's a guy that looks like he's pretty heavy. He looks strapped.
Well,
ready to
I
go.
was making a Team Fortress reference, Nathan.
Oh, I don't know those.
Is there anything coming out from
really?
Gearbox?
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure we're gonna hear about. Oh, I'm sorry, I had to take a deep breath just because I was thinking about it so much. Borderlands 3. Oh,
You need a towel, Nathan?
I feel better now.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I really like the concept art that they released.
Looks good.
See, I'm
so
not
happy.
actually.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Borderlands myself.
Player mouth.
But
Have you played Borderlands?
I played a little bit of one of them. I don't know what it was. I couldn't really get into it.
I thought you'd love it. It's like Diablo, but a shooter version of Diablo.
No, like Diablo, but a shooter version is Inquisitor Martyr, which I was telling you about, which I am
Or-
enjoying a lot.
Could say Inquisitor Martyrdom is like the Warhammer version of Borderlands. We could say that.
Borderlands
too.
is a FPS. Diablo
It
is
is.
a top-down action RPG.
You know what? I don't know what to do with you. The Anyway,
I know, you
Borderlands
still
3
need a
looks
towel.
great.
Go clean yourself up.
Borderlands 3 looks really great, and Gearbox, yeah,
It looks
Gearbox is going to be
interesting.
doing that.
Looks especially surprised since Gearbox did the pre-sequel Tales from the Borderlands
Mhm.
that they're actually going for a 3. I'm kind of interested in what's the story going to be, and are you going to bring back Handsome Jack again? Because listen, you squeezed all the life out of him you could.
Literally.
Quite literally, yes.
He
And
came back for 2 games after he died.
I think the worst part is, best and worst part is, there's the one after he's dead,
Yes.
where it's kind of interesting to see the psychosis try to take control of someone else. There's the one before he becomes Handsome Jack, where you get this almost sympathetic person, where you see where he came from.
Yep.
But that doesn't take away from the fact that I was so satisfied with shooting that bastard in the face at the end of Borderlands 2. So if you're going to try to put something new into Borderlands 3, you better give me a new villain that gives me that Voss Montenegro experience. Because that's what I hold my villains to, Voss Montenegro.
It'll be Claptrap.
Oh, yes. No. that was the first Borderlands.
The
and
end goal is to
everyone
kill
cuts it.
all. It's in fact before the Claptraps all die, you actually have to go and fight them. You are their extinction.
I was gonna say, you're the reason they're dead.
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, actually, Handsome Jack even kind of like retconned himself into the first game because you find out he was the whole reason why they had to find the ball in the first place. So, even though he wasn't in the first game, when you get the voice recordings in the second game, you find out that he was in charge of Angel, and
Wasn't
that's
he trying to do
and so
something
he was
good,
directing.
Wasn't he like
Originally,
he was, like,
originally, yes.
trying to save the world or whatever from whatever?
There were raiders, and they were taking over the Hyperion ship in space, and so they were trying to keep them from shaking Pandora apart, basically with a giant laser. But what happened in pre-sequel basically is that Jack then gets kind of power mad by the end and is like, wow, these vaults seem to have lots of power in them. And boy, if I could take control of that power, it would be way easier to do stuff. And that's when we get the villain.
I think it was, Jack was reasonable. Jack, in the pre-sequel, Jack's right. Jack's doing a good thing for most of it. And they really do portray this slow descent into madness. I think the point where I appreciated the most was that first moment where he kills his boss, or he kills the mayor. He just shoots him because the mayor is going to be the first. The mayor's about to shoot him. He's giving him mercy. Right. He's totally offering. The mayor pulls out a gun. He shoots him. And there's that brief felt good. Felt like yeah, I was justified. Yeah. And you just click.
Jack was going to walk away.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, the mayor shoots at him, and then Jack turns around and wastes him.
Turns around, and he's like, I was gonna and he's like beating on him. I was gonna let you live.
Yep.
And then it's like, oh wait, that was kind of nice. All right, he gets his first taste of blood, and then all of a sudden he's just off to the races.
That plot of the new Deadpool movie.
Basically, it's pretty much what happens. Yeah, it's Fire Fist all over again. So yeah, I think that's really going to be what Gearbox is going to be talking about when they get out there. Take-Two in general, it looks like that's going to be a big thing for them. Although they might have something about expansions for XCOM 2 or Civilization 6, but
anything from speaking of Civilization, Sidmir, Firaxis.
Apparently just that. They might have more for Civilization 6, but I don't think anything specific past that.
Of course. It's the only game he puts out lately.
Which is actually the next conference that comes past it is the PC Gaming Showcase, which could be literally anything.
True.
I have absolutely no idea what that is. But while we are on that kind of interlude, there are a few studios that are going to be coming in that they don't specifically mention in the conferences that I wanted to touch on. First one, of course, is going to be a big one. Well, hopefully it is CD Projekt Red.
Who?
That maybe we'll finally get Cyberpunk 2077.
Who are they?
I've heard a lot of people
They
excited.
made Witcher.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Witcher 3. Yep. In 2013.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, CD Projekt Red has shown they can make one hell of a game,
Oh yeah.
but
yeah.
CD Projekt Red also showed us that making a AAA game with the dedication that an UC and indie group have takes a lot out of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think if they announce, like, 2018 or early 2019,
Mhm.
the release of CP 2077, I'd be very interested to see what they're trying to do, what they're gonna go with it.
Maybe
How?
they're gonna make a Witcher game where you can actually make your own Witcher.
Oh, why would you want to do that? Geralt was so great. Yeah.
Because you can have a billion Witchers then. Witchers
I'd-
on the Witcher Online.
No one wants that, Alex. Like literally no one wants. They did such a good job with story and action in Witcher 3. No one wants to delineate that out. It's just they did basically that, like Skyrim, as you were complaining about, was not able to do. They were able to structure it. So I think that there's just they keep putting off 2077 now because there are such high expectations on them. Witcher 3 especially, people just get this real sense of, oh wow, the second CG project comes out with something, it's got to be amazing. And when they started showing footage of what this game was supposed to look like, it looked incredible. And so I'm wondering if if it is not the greatest thing you've ever played, people are going to just be disappointed regardless.
We'll just sell it to EA and no one's gonna be disappointed. They'll be very surprised.
There will be loot boxes. Just some loot boxes and a subscription service, and then we'll
What's
be
in
all
this loot
good.
box? It's a Mask of Geralt.
Aren't you so happy?
This character looks a lot like Siri.
Oh yeah. There is also talk that we will have a new Soul Calibur game, Soul Calibur 6. There's going to be a character roster, which I like those games as far as fighting games go, so I'll be happy to see that.
What about a new Dead or Alive beach volleyball?
No, I don't know if we're ever getting one of those again, which is, you know what? Perfectly
We can only
fine.
dream.
I didn't
Hopefully we
really
stay
give a
that way.
damn. I didn't really give a damn.
But
one
you
other
need,
thing-
but you need those boob physics, Nathan.
I don't.
That's the only thing the game
Listen.
had.
Listen, we already had the mistake of giving Team Ninja a serious with what was it? Which Metroid was it?
Oh, other M.
Other M, yeah. Where, dude, now, mind you, I don't blame, like, looking at it, I don't really blame Nintendo for that one. That was more of a, oh shit, now they have to handle it kind of thing. We don't have another option. Please try. And Team Ninja did what they did.
It's kind of what
I'm not going to say they did their best.
They did a thing.
Yeah.
I did not a lot, and I finished like Metroid Prime 1, 2, 3, maybe not 2, but I did really like the Metroid Prime series, and there's supposed to be a new one coming at some point. Maybe we'll hear about that from Nintendo. But when they did Other M, first of all, it's the first time Samus has actually said anything. And when she does, you're like, you know what? You probably shouldn't, because they made her so uninteresting she seemed so much more interesting when they had her as a silent protagonist, kind of like how Link is a silent protagonist.
That's because they tried having him talk once.
Well,
Yes, exactly, and that worked out just as well.
Yeah.
Because, like, even just seeing Samus Aran behind the mask and her facial expressions when a flash of light would hit it said so much more than all the dialogue in Other M.
Well, the interesting thing becomes when you have a silent protagonist, when you don't have the space to use voices, you go, all right, I still want to have a character here. How do I do that? And you find the ways to characterize this person without voice line. But when you have someone who has been voiceless this entire history, you now have to put together their personality, you have to figure out how they would talk after 20 years of never saying a word.
I would have laughed had she had like a southern drawl.
I was really hoping she would just go, well, excuse me.
But it
Fun
was
fact,
the
I actually I met that guy, the guy who voiced that person taught at my school.
Nice.
very cool.
I feel like Samus really should just say, "Do you know the way?"
No, unfortunately, what she said in Other M behind Other M makes Samus look, because in previous games, like, she doesn't have her weapons because, you know, she lands on this planet and all of her weapons are taken away and she has to go and find them. In Other M, she has everything, but this Colonel dude, who she hasn't seen forever, asks her not to use them. Okay.
Well, I'm sorry.
What?
You're telling me this highly trained mercenary is just gonna go, yeah, this random commander that I haven't heard in years.
Anymore?
I totally trust him to tell me to not use the weapon I need right now.
He can start using them when he gives her permission to. Like, she doesn't work for these people anymore. There's no purpose to that. Oh,
Yes. That is the end result.
That annoyed me so much. It's like, Samus, just we don't care about it. It's obvious these people don't know what they're doing. They're dying left and right. And there's no reason you have to follow them. You left for a reason in the first place. And so it was a disservice to the character throughout. But luckily, if we get a new Metroid game, it's going to be a Metroid Prime. And if we're in luck, it will be Retro Studios that does it. There is also, it's possible that Dante might come back. So, hey, who knows, Alex? Maybe you'll get a new Devil May Cry.
I mean, they just did DMC, which, did you play?
No.
Alright, so DMC was a prequel. It wasn't like a reboot of the series. It was a prequel to Devil May Cry 3, which was a prequel to Devil May Cry 1. So the series now goes DMC, Devil May Cry 3, DMC 1, DMC 2.
Oh. Okay.
So if they do another one, where is it going to fall in that timeline?
It's apparently
It's
called
gonna
Devil May
fall
Cry
in
5.
between- And it's gonna fall in between Duma.
It's going to be like a dream that he had in the middle of DMC 3. No, they say it's Devil May Cry 5. So
well, they
I'm
did
guessing
do
that
Devil May
it's
Cry
sequentially.
4, so...
I'm guessing sequentially it's supposed to be whatever happened after.
Well,
4.
DMC would be the fifth one in the actual game series, but not chronologically speaking.
Right.
So if it's actually
Right.
DMC 5...
So they're already doing better than Final Fantasy.
Yes.
In which sense?
So
That they're actually
in-
chronological order? Or actually doing one storyline?
Final Fantasy had a million storylines.
Oh, jeez. But yeah, so it goes DMC, DMC 3, 1, 2, 4, and then it would be 5, potentially.
So 1, 2, 3, and then DMC a Star Wars story, and then 4, and then 5, and then 5.
To be fair, though,
God.
to be fair, Ninja Theory did a really good job with DMC, the new one. Like, it has
Okay.
all the feels of all the other Devil May Cry games. Which is the fast-paced, intuitive combat with tons of combos. Bit of snarky humor.
I was never big into DMC, so I don't know.
I enjoyed it. I like being able to shoot demons and then cut them up and then get just the way they did it. The combat was good, I thought.
Capcom is also talking about a Western release for Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate for the Switch.
Jesus.
So the Switch gets a Monster Hunter game due.
A Western style Monster Hunter.
A Western release. They
Oh,
already
Western
have
release.
the Japanese release, but they're going to have a Western release
Are you
of the
talking about
game.
Western, like cowboys?
No. What I mean is they're going to be releasing a version. Although, hey, you know what? That would actually be kind of interesting. I think it would be kind of cool to have Monster Hunter where you get the gunslinger hat and you get the.
Yeah.
You can be a
That'd be
cowboy,
fun.
or you can be an Indian. You get an Apache tracker.
The pistols.
You
I'd have
work
been able to
between your
use.
blunderbuss, your blunderbuss, which is your close range, high power, your musket, which is really long reload time but good accuracy over range, and your pistol, which is decent in between but doesn't quite get the damage off you need.
I mean, you'd still get a rifle that wasn't a musket.
No,
Well, I mean, if you're using a musket
Well-
and a pistol, then you're not using a revolver, because those didn't exist at the same time in use.
you think I care?
Yes.
We're doing this for video games' sake. We're just trying to make it harder.
Then we're doing Monster Hunter Steampunk Edition, okay?
In Monster Hunter, you get one gun you can take out at a time. You get one weapon. You choose which one that is. Figure it out and figure out which one you like.
And it's made of dinosaur bones, and it weighs 70 pounds.
I'll take that hammer made of that guy's skull I just killed.
Would it be cool if you had like a cow skull on the end of like a baseball bat and you just started whipping people with it?
I'd like to say I could say that from experience, but well,
Well,
I'm not going to go into that. But
I did decorate my office in a Midwestern style.
see, that sounds like we're playing New Vegas now. You're just tying a cow skull to a bat and hitting someone with it.
Oh, I would have loved that in New Vegas. That would have been terrific.
Are we sure we're not making a new Dead Rising game with this stuff?
Oh, yes. That
Mm.
thing in Dead Rising. Maybe you could have made that in like Dead Rising 2. I don't know. And it is also possible that we will see Shenmue 3 from Deep Silver. If you played the first Shenmues, congratulations. Maybe, possibly, after all these years, you'll finally get the third one that you've been looking for so very long. Because the second one kind of left you on a cliffhanger. A big one.
Are
where
we getting
you
another
didn't
Duke Nukem anytime soon?
I think they might have finally given up on
Like, who actually owns that right now? I forget.
Fox.
I know a few people,
I
and
believe
most
so.
of those people bought Duke Nukem ages ago. Went, wow, this is great, and then went, you know, this isn't going to be good. Let's see what happens.
Well, it changed hands a bunch of times.
It is currently in
You reworked-
Gearbox's hands.
Is it in Gearbox? I knew someone
So-
that did games
So you're telling
well.
me
about it.
Borderlands 3 is going to be you playing as Duke Nukem?
I
Oh,
bet
yeah.
Or is
they'll-
Duke Nukem the villain?
Oh god, that would be fantastic.
You know what I would bet you though that there will probably be a DLC skin for
I was
one of the
just
characters that will make
thinking-
him look like Duke.
No,
Nukem.
it'll be the DLC they did with the D&D type style unicorn whatever.
Yeah.
They'll have
Oh,
a Duke
they'll make-
Nukem DLC like that instead for Borderlands.
They'll do a Tiny Tina's Escape from Dragon Keep, but they'll do it
they'll
with
be
Duke
Duke
Nukem.
Nukem's pop culture extravaganza.
Or Bricks Brookum?
Okay.
And someone just immediately
yeah.
goes, this sounds really derivative. Shut up! I totally made this myself!
I punch the unicorn.
Hey, that works.
Yeah, exactly.
Launching the nuclear works far too much than to be discredited.
Does. I cannot wait. Yeah. No, the best part of Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep was all the time that Brick was talking. Pet the unicorn. You pet the unicorn. It loves it. she loves it. Oh, this a critical fail. I rolled a 1 again. Can I smash this dice? Oh man, that was so good. But anyway, so those are some other things that, since I don't know anything about the PC Gaming Showcase, those might happen. Last conference on Monday is Sony. I think Sony's going to have a pretty good year this year.
Sony is going to finally release a Legend of Dragoon 2.
That's a bold prediction. I like it.
It's a good one.
And you know, if they do it, you're going to sit there going, what the fuck?
Alex is psychic. What happened?
I will literally sit there going, son of a bitch. I have to buy this game.
I mean,
I have to buy a PS4, apparently.
I would buy a PS4 simply for that game, play it, and return the PS4. Who would not?
Yeah.
Would anybody here not play a Legend of Dragoon 2 if they released one?
I don't know if I ever played the first one.
It was comparable to Final Fantasy at the time, but without being Final Fantasy, and while being a lot better than Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Did you play Legend of Dragoon, Drunk Paul?
I don't heard of it.
DC?
No, I haven't played it.
God damn it, you guys.
This is why your prediction's so bold, man. If it happens, I owe you $10 or something.
It was Sony. Sony made it. It was a 4-disc game back on PlayStation 1. But it had dragons, and you became like the dragoons. You could transform into things, and it was good. It was, you'd have to go look it up or something. Like, the graphics are dated because it's that old, but it was comparable to, like, at the time, Final Fantasy VII, without having a really stupid storyline like Final Fantasy VII. It was also a bit more mature, I think, in theme.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well,
You didn't
let's
have
face
to kill
it,
God.
that's
you had
not
to kill
happening.
dragons. You had to kill dragons. And other things. I don't remember. It's been a friggin' decade since I played that. At least.
Let's go with stuff that might actually happen.
No, we're making wild predictions now.
What the hell is FromSoft doing?
Stuff doing? Yeah, we don't have any idea. It's probably not going to be Dark Souls or Dragonborn or Bloodborne.
It's something with souls in it.
It's probably something with souls.
It's
in
going
it.
to be a pirate
I'm
game,
curious.
though.
It just from like the ridiculously short and uninformative teaser trailer, it looks like that weird period. Like if they're making another Soulsborne like game, it's that weird period of time, European history where, here, you need to get better. Take some leeches. I'll break your bone. It'll be good.
Oh, the Victorian era?
Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
But who knows? Because they literally showed what looked like a bone with a chain around. Tighten it. That gives us nothing. That's about as informative as Kojima.
Yeah.
Maybe you play Cannibal this time.
Maybe they just tell you, no, you are the bad guy. Just stop being philosophical. You're the bad guy.
You're just the bad guy. That's all that happens now. Anyway, yeah. So I don't really know what the new From Software game is going to be. It should be interesting to find out. I bet I did make 2 predictions that it will probably be unnecessarily difficult and probably pretty depressing.
So
Good
FromSoft.
bet. Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of going out on a limb here, but I think that's going to be a thing.
So, what it turns out into is Nintendo's going to release its consistent series
Yeah.
Sony's gonna release some sort of game that grabs people for reasons, and Microsoft's going to attempt something, and that meh.
Super Smash
Yeah.
Brothers 18 17th.
by
There's going to be a
Microsoft.
new Super Smash Bros. Yeah, yeah, that would be great. Microsoft will try to do like a Super Smash Brothers of their own, I'm sure.
Where's my
Sony
All Stars?
All-Stars.
PlayStation All Stars 2.
For it, so they didn't do it. Some good ones that are coming out. 3 of my favorite studios that they have. They used to make great platformers, and then they got into more adult, like more grown-up storylines. Were Insomniac, Sucker Punch, and Naughty Dog, and they all have new games that they're going to be talking about.
Hmm.
Insomniac has a new Spider-Man game that they're making for the PS4. All I really know about it is it's probably going to take an open world approach. They're probably going to make it more cinematic so that Spider-Man's like going through buildings and jumping over tables and stuff like that. But also that they're going to have a ton of different costumes, and all of the different iterations have their own skills, like their own special skills. Oh, that looks fun.
Oh boy.
Sucker Punch, which was really well known for Mike Cooper, but then they were also known for, Infamous, I guess. They're going to be doing a samurai game called Ghosts of Tsushima. That looks interesting to
Do you
me.
kill ghosts? Maybe you're the Ghostbusters. Maybe you bust ghosts.
No, like from the trailer, it looks like a samurai that like is dealing with an invasion,
Of
and
ghosts?
they're burning. No, not ghosts, actual people. But like he is the Ghost of Tsushima. That's like the name that they gave him, I think, is the idea.
So
Do we
he's
get to
trying to
fight
be
the
Kratos?
Mongolians?
It's almost like Samurai Kratos. I kind of think that's what it's supposed to be like.
Listen, if his name's Jack, I'm all in.
Yes. Well, then he'd be a
Samurai Jack.
mostly silent antagonist, and your bad guy would be named Aku. And of course, you know how the intro to the game would play out.
A foolish samurai war. Okay.
Long
Yeah.
ago in a distant land.
I'm so glad they made that new season, and it's a shame that you could feel the fact that they went, crap, we've got to finish this in the last 3 episodes.
Oh, no, I thought they did a good job. It was good. They did a pretty good job with it. I was
They
a
did.
little sad at
They did well.
I was a little sad about Aku.
I think they did well when it kind of hit them that we have 3 more episodes and we're not getting a new season. I think they did amazing. The entire series was amazing. It just kind of shifted, and I went, okay, I put my new mindset in, I'm good.
No, I
But
was a little sad about
unrelated.
the voice of Aku, because you could tell they got someone that sounded close enough to Mako that it worked, but it wasn't Mako,
Right.
because he did.
Feudal Japan.
That's a pleasant thought.
Well, I mean,
You know?
it was
Wait,
good. But
crap. Forget. We're talking about Sony.
we were talking about
No,
Samurai
it's gonna be a
Jack.
PS4 exclusive.
Long
Listen.
ago in a distant land.
Damn it.
I, Aku, the shape-shifting master of darkness.
Every time I find a game that just goes kind of like ticks that interest,
Yeah.
it's PS4.
Oh my god.
Sony makes a really cool, really interesting game. Oh, what's it? Oh, it's Sony.
Mm. Yeah. So really know what the game's going to play like, but I mean, Sucker Punch is usually well known for having really tight gameplay, so it's going to be interesting. If it's samurai themed and it's set in like a period piece, I'm down for that. They do a good job with gameplay, and if there's like a rich combat system, which I imagine they'll make, wow. Dog, of course, is going to be coming out with his Last of Us Part 2.
Hmm.
If you played Last of Us, that's going to be very interesting for you. If you have not played Last of Us, why? I had to say.
Just because.
Yeah, probably because you didn't have the system or ability to play it.
Yes.
You know, played
It's-
Last of Us. Could have.
Really?
Correct system. I had the system for it. I had the time,
Mm-hmm.
but it was just. I think it was just the release time was weird. I had other games on my plate. I had people I was dealing with, and then it's just like
Thought you were gonna
everyone
say
was just like,
people on your
"Oh my
plate.
god, it's such a good thing!" And it was a hype bubble,
Yeah.
and I don't trust
Everything.
hype bubbles.
It was everything.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that is true. But it's too bad because The Last of Us was like Naughty Dog does a good job. I've liked a lot of what they did. I wasn't so big of their like Jack and Daxter phase because they tried to make like the edgy platformer with the later Jack games. Like what they did with Uncharted was great. They basically made like Indiana Jones as a video game, and it worked out really well. Had really big ambitions with The Last of Us, and they created a very rich storyline that it does not have, without spoiling anything, the ending is not clean. It's still muddy moral territory that they get into at the end, and I appreciated it. You have to ask yourself questions about the characters at the end of Last of Us, like, did they do the right thing?
Did I have to?
I guess we'll find out with part 2. No, they don't have to. I'm glad that they actually didn't just let them do currently right thing and everybody was fine at the end. They had Joel had a tough, had the right thing to do, and then the thing that he just felt he should do. He did the thing he felt he should do.
That's the way to play a character. It may not be the perfectly good thing, but you do.
Yeah. It might have doomed humanity, but you know what? That's okay.
Do we really
I
need
guess-
humans?
Well, no. Do you know the whole idea about the post-apocalypse that they set up in Last of Us, Alex?
Nope.
Okay.
Yeah, in Last of Us, it's
Yeah.
sort of what I know about it is fungus.
Yes, it's cordyceps. Basically,
Oh no, not
They had
the
this idea.
cordyceps.
Well, they
Yeah,
exist.
yeah,
That's the problem.
yeah, no, the cordyceps fungus that usually affects ants into mindless beings that need to climb up a stalk so that they can release spores, gets a human variant. And it starts to affect the population and turn them into these crazy, running, screaming beasts
So
that
normal
start to develop
humans?
spores. Right, right,
Basically,
exactly.
it's
Basically,
infectious
imagine
bath
Black
salts.
Friday. It's like that.
Infectious bath salts.
Infectious bath salts. It's Florida. No.
The
No,
world becomes Florida. Oh dear God!
Yeah, it's
Give
basically
me
like
that survival RPG.
it's Black
I mean,
Friday.
you could just
but
go
all
live
the
in
time.
Florida. And
I'd
you-
rather not. That's why we put it into a video game. We can pretend like it's a thing, that it's real, and just continue to believe that Florida doesn't.
Yeah. It's spores, and then the spores start to like create fungus on the people as they start to degrade more and more until they become basically these what they called clickers. And the clickers basically are blind, but they have really good hearing, but they're basically just like this giant fungus creature. And that's what the humans were. And then they start to create these spore fields so that they can infect more people.
Okay. It's just what I
It's it's a different kind of it's kind of like a zombie game, but they're not zombies.
Gotcha.
There's some.
But it was an interesting concept. In part 2, they are going to keep going with the story, I guess, of Joel and Ellie, and it's going to be interesting to see how the fallout of what the choices they made in the first game affect the story now.
Easily, there's either cordyceps monsters or none.
Except monsters. I I can almost guarantee you that there are. But some of the scariest characters in the original one were the people.
Well, yeah,
Very much
peoples
like
are the
most
real
zombies.
monsters, Nathan.
Absolutely. Although I will say that the Last of Us zombie-ish creatures seem much more hostile and dangerous than like the Walking Dead style of zombie,
It's because they're not the same type of zombie.
because they run at you full bore the second they are fast.
See,
They're fast zombies.
if I am going to play a brand new zombie video game, I want a Shaun of the Dead style.
Oh,
We know
yeah.
what zombies are.
Oh yeah.
We've heard about them. We're still fucked.
Yeah.
Give me that, where humanity goes, oh, there's zombies. It's fine. We prepared for this. And in fact, it is the weird doomsday preppers that were ready because they never trusted anything and shot everyone. And society did collapse because they just didn't pay attention or care because they'll be fine. And everyone knows, shoot for the head. We should have stopped them. Why didn't we stop them? Well, we tried to turn them into people gathered shots.
Yeah, I mean it would be great. I'd love to see them edge more on the humorous side of zombies and the apocalypse. We don't always get that. We get shades of it in kind of gallows humor in some games. Usually all out and out, do play it for comedy. I guess like Dead Rising was probably the closest
Yeah.
into
But that
ridiculous.
ended up being more humor because of the way you play, and less about.
Right. Less the story. The story felt forward. And, but yeah, I mean, some of the things that you do in the game look so ridiculous. Take it seriously. And then Dead Island, just because you go, oh, this doesn't look like the trailer. Good. I didn't like Dead Island. I liked the studio did. That was also a zombie game. But now I can't remember what that one was called.
Oh well.
Hey, though. Well, doesn't
There's a
matter.
lot of them.
Was it Until Dawn? No, that's a different one. Never mind. The other thing Sony is going to be doing at their press conference is giving us more information on a game that we swear is not dead. Death Stranding is going to be coming at some point. We have no idea what it is. There's Norman Reedus has a baby given a thumbs up in his belly somehow or down his throat, and that's all we really knew. Maybe there'll be gameplay. I don't know. Emma, it could be anything. It could be just a narrative
It's
game.
dating sim. That's what's happening.
It's a dating sim. Nathan, you like dating sims, right?
Do you know what? That Death Stranding is DDLC the sequel. Hideo Kojima is taking over Team Salvato, the new Doki Doki Literature Club. But what you don't realize is that Snake is in the background all the time, like just trying to figure out how to get into that closet that you barely see for 5 seconds. Or find that piano. That piano that Monica was always playing. It's never in the damn game.
Hey Nathan, do we have any news from Team Salvato for 2018?
Anything from Team Salvato. I will look and see if there's any news. I mean, there's supposed to be a game that basically, because as we now know, DDLC was basically just a giant viral promo for whatever the next game is that they make. But, I think they haven't announced anything. It doesn't look like they did. Except to say that DDLC is only the start and that they are doing something.
That's not cryptic.
Oh, I can tell. And then if you go into the script of DDLC, there's all of these clues to the actual real story and whatever, man. I don't care. I don't care.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway, so yeah, Hideo Kojima's still making a game, and It's gonna be better than that last Metal Gear that they made. Was that it?
You mean the zombie one that they cranked out because we can make it?
Where
Because
you
brains.
where you poke zombies with a big pointy stick for however long you want to play the game, and that's literally all you do.
Good job. You
Good.
put in more effort. Congrats. You put in more effort than the developer.
Yeah. Let's fire Hideo Kojima. It's not like he did anything for us, and let's just keep making Metal Gear games without him. We can do it. Oh. God. Yeah, so he's doing Death Stranding, and I still have absolutely no idea what it is. But hey, Norman Reedus. There's that. He's probably going to have a good time of it. They have a lot of exclusives coming to the system from some really good companies. So,
We got any new Tony Hawk games on the way?
oh God, wouldn't I love that? You know, even Tony Hawk was talking about that since the license basically stopped, because somebody did ask him about new Tony Hawk games, and he said, "Hey, I'd love to be able to start doing some more Pro Skater games, but since Neversoft is kind of, you know, not doing anything and they have license to it, it's really in their court."
Is
If-
Neversoft even still around making games?
No, it's a good question. I gotta look that
That
up.
would be remarkably refreshing. Hey, here's a Tony Hawk Pro Skater game. Nobody expected it. Nobody really needed it. But here it is.
But here it is, and love it. I mean, because it was
Yeah.
also
It would be
Activision that
surprisingly-
did those. It was Neversoft and Activision, I believe, wasn't it?
Yes, they would have been under Activision if I remember correctly, and Neversoft did get shut down in 2014. So I don't know who even has license to it at this point.
Well, probably
guess
Activision
Activision.
would have if they had it.
So I guess ask Blizzard if they want to make a Tony Hawk game.
It'll be
Their big multiplayer game. That could be the Overwatch.
Oh, no! You make it a game that's like Splatoon, but on skateboards.
Hmm.
It's like
Idea.
skate or
Mix of-
die.
Getting the best high score and covering. Yeah, there was a mechanic in the game in the old Pro Skaters where you claimed ground by the combo you made.
Yes, there was.
So you could only claim this new ground if you did a combo of like equal or higher level. So you'd quickly do quick ones, be slowly about who could keep the long combos going.
We need a skater royale game. Tony Hawk's.
But do we have loot box?
Yeah, it'll be different knee pads
Okay,
and
that'll be fun.
helmets and gear.
The new wheels and
New
like the
wheels
bottoms
and-
of the boards like they always had.
They'll have RPG elements, so like a different board will increase your hang time in the air by like a quarter of a second.
And you slowly you can slowly unlock the random characters like the guy in the wheelchair.
Yep, Steve-O.
Yep, Steve-O's unlockable. Why? Nobody. He's just there.
You can get Bam Margera, but he's actually a skateboard that you ride.
That would sell 1 million copies for that alone. People would just love that idea.
I'm still irrelevant, Mom.
Kick-ass guys in this at all. They showed up. We figured we'd mocap them. Why not? We
Mocap
have
them standing still and being used as a skateboard. Yeah, we weren't paying them.
No, they just showed up. They put on the suits because they thought it looked fun. We just recorded it.
We told them to just use one of those as a skateboard. They did. Now we have it. We're not gonna waste that.
Oh man, it's like
yeah.
Gary's mod, but all the skins are the Jackass guys.
So
why
yeah,
isn't that a thing?
so the license deal between Hawk and Activision effectively expired in December 2015. Last year, that he was interested in continuing the franchise and said he was interested in virtual reality for the next game.
Great.
Yeah.
Now I can pretend I'm as bad as
Really?
Tony Hawk in game.
Go all day. That's one thing I don't think I want to do in a VR. I think I feel like I get seasick if I'm trying to like do an ollie up to the top of a building or on the moon if they make like a moon course.
Ollie on the moon. Look at that hang time. Oh shit, he's
Oh.
not coming down.
You think that's stupid, but I'm gonna tell you that there was a level in one of the Tony Hawk games that was on the moon.
Oh yeah.
I know I played it.
Oh yeah. I remember.
It was great.
I remember. I think the one I played the most was it Ground 2?
Yeah, I think either 2 or 4 for me, or maybe Underground.
Or
Underground
Wasteland.
2 I think was the one I did the most, just because. The only reason I know that is because I know its soundtracks.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they
Hmm?
good games, and they had some not so great games. And then toward the end, there was a lot more competition at like the Skate series. And then I actually liked Aggressive Inline. That was a really cool series that no one played.
Yeah.
That was
It's
a
a
good
shame
one.
Tony
too.
Hawk's kind of just. They had that weird period of time where they were just they were a Call of Duty level franchise. And they
Oh
just-
yeah.
Activision's apparently
Every year.
good at that.
Yes, they are, which is why it's kind of surprising they haven't brought that back.
Because people are more concerned with shooters than sports games lately, or maybe, I don't know.
Stated that the pro skater fan base has sustained itself through Thug Pro, a fan-made total conversion mod of Underground 2.
Ayo!
Still going on.
That doesn't
So-
spread. The Underground 2 had a specific appeal, and I think one of the weirdest parts about it was the track where it ranged from, like, it started you off with, like, punk rock of the day, and some of the final levels, like, one of the best points you could skate at, it just started with, I fell into a burning ring of fire.
Yeah.
And you literally skated into a ring of fire. And it was just like, okay, that was your range of music. It was beautiful.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the story of Underground 2 is a little
No.
muddled.
What story? You're skating. Who cares?
The first Underground had a very interesting rags to riches story. The second one, you're already pretty much there, and like Bam is just like convincing you to do insane stunts all over the world. So, I mean, I always enjoyed the Tony Hawk games, but some of them were definitely way better and more fleshed out than others. Some of them were just not great. And then the one where they tried to make the board that you skated on, that was awesome. Was that Shred? I can't remember.
I don't.
They made their own peripheral
Oh,
for the
jeez.
thing so that you
Oh,
so that
yeah,
you could
yeah, I remember that.
yeah, you would stand on the little swivelly board and try to like if you jump back, you do an ollie front, and it's like, oh, this is so much easier than having a control pad with buttons.
But it wasn't. Because
Wasn't.
now you have to pretend like you knew how to skateboard, and again, most of them couldn't stand like.
Yeah, I have to control the whole. It's like Dance Dance Revolution, but with less options. At any rate,
with less fulfillment to yourself for exercising.
yeah, exactly. Final. This big news conference for E3 is going to be on Tuesday. There's only one, and it is, of course, Nintendo. And you can probably imagine some of the big things for Nintendo. I imagine pushing a lot is Super Smash Brothers, because there's a new one, and it's going to be for Switch. But what I'm hoping is Pokemon.
Yeah, it'll probably be the Pikachu.
There will be the Pikachu and Eevee one, yeah, but
Eevee.
there's another one too.
Oh,
Wasn't it just a re-release of Red and Blue, or?
No. They actually said that it's probably going to be like more of a remake of Yellow, or a re-envisioning of it. But I think it's not going to look the same. It's going to be a wholly different.
Isn't that what the Eevee and Pikachu one are?
Yes,
you know.
it has some Go compatibility, the Eevee and Pikachu one. So there's like a whole thing where apparently you're going to be able to interface like with your Go and bring like the Pokemon that you have from your Go into the game and
Because
vice versa.
that won't mean that you're going to start off with all the most super powerful Pokemon.
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me? I have an Articuno and a Zapdos now.
Wow.
So,
The way you said those names makes me want to kill you.
Zapdos, Arctic Uno. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, 1, 2, 3, Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres.
Moltres! I love how you say it. It sounds like it has such flair. But
I may have lived in...
Anyway, I have Icebird and Zappy Bird, okay? That's what I have now. So, Zappy Bird and
the
Freezy
prequel
Bird.
to Flappy Bird.
Yes.
Oh my god, if they made a version of Flappy Bird where it was just Zapdos going up and down and then just zapping all the objects in his way, that would be amazing.
Actually, I saw
Flappy Bird Royale.
I saw
the new game.
I saw a good gif on a Reddit. Someone redid Flappy Bird, but they replaced the bird with the pipes and the pipes with the birds. So you didn't fly a bird, you flew a pipe.
Well, that
I mean,
doesn't
we're still
confuse
just
the issue
ripping-
at all.
We're still just ripping off, Super Mario elements, so who cares,
Oh
right?
yeah, but this was funny because the birds are just sitting there in the midair, sitting still, and this pipe is just flopping around. It's like, what the actual fuck just happened?
Drug.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure what they're doing with the Eevee and the Pikachu thing is kind of like there's a lot of new players that are used to Pokemon Go and maybe don't remember that there was, this whole great game series of RPGs that had the thing. And so I think they're kind of transitioning them in to an actual full role-playing experience that is not Go related.
Trying to get that group that they hooked with Pokemon Go into back
Playing-
into their main system setup,
Right.
since they don't get a whole lot of money.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's not like Go made any money.
Well,
But
Except
I
for
mean,
all the
I've
money
been-
they made.
say.
money after that. I'm just kidding. But I mean, I've been waiting 20 years or so for an actual console-based Pokemon game that wasn't where I take pictures or fight in a coliseum. just like a Pokemon game, like the ones that I played on the handheld devices.
You could always hook your DS or whatever up to your GameCube and play it that way, Nathan.
It's just not the same. I wanted it with all of the production value that you can do with a fully fleshed out game system for a console. That's what I'm hoping that they're going to give me with the Switch version. It might actually make me buy a Switch.
What they should just do is make a Pokemon system instead. You don't have to. You just make one system for all the Pokemon games, and you can use it for storage. You can use it for incubation, whatever. You make a system that is just a Pokemon system, and then you have to buy
Pokemon
that.
World.
And then no, it's like your Switch, but it's just for Pokemon. It's like a N64 for Pokemon. But it only plays the Pokemon games. But you can use the device itself as Poke Storage and stuff like that.
Okay.
See, that would be really neat, Nathan.
Sure. Well,
your system would be your PC.
Well,
in the
you know
game.
what? Pokemon is technically the most worthy. What is it called? It is the brand that has the most value of all brands.
It is
More than Star Wars.
It is the strongest. I'll say among video games, it may have competitors somewhere else because of this. It has some of the strongest brand loyalty, brand recognition, and faith. Like,
Yeah.
people, like, there was a lot of shit with the Wii U. People going, "Oh, Nintendo's gonna fail." No, it wasn't fail. It was never going to fail. It has too much loyalty. They make at least neutral on just about everything because of that.
Yeah. Failure for Nintendo is
I mean-
breaking even.
I mean, look at how many people buy amiibos.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's a good market.
They made these little teeny dolls that do nothing, sold them for a mad amount of profit. Just saying.
Pokemon is the brand with the most overall valuation. And so, I mean, I guess you could do more specifically with it, but I would just be happy with a game that was the game I was hoping to, like an actual RPG. Feels like a Pokemon game.
So it'll be like Paper Mario, but Poke Mario?
Pokemon. With Pokemon. It would just be like gold and silver or red or any of those other ones, but as like a full 3D, I travel around Johto and Kanto and all of those and catch Pokemon and battle them and go to the gyms and go into the gyms
I mean,
and check them out.
really what we've all been waiting for is the Pokemon MMO.
No. I haven't.
Yes, Nathan.
I have not been waiting for the Pokemon MMO, Alex.
Pokemon the
Pokemon
MMORPG.
MMOs exist. They're called competitive Pokemon.
Well, I mean, like, where you can go around in the world with other people in the world, see them all, go to different places, do different things. Like Pokemon Go, but actually in the game. But then you could also be like, I'm going to form Team Fire Ruby exponentially. Or join Team Rocket, or all these things. And then you
See,
can
there's a particular element you forgot to mention where those people are real people, because otherwise that's just a Pokemon game. You can go back and fight those people in a lot of Pokemon games that I remember.
Well, that's why it's an MMO, because then those people are real people.
I just love the idea that there's going to be power gamers all over the place, and that like the first like 3 random people you encounter, like going out of oh god, what was Ash's hometown?
Pallet Town.
Town.
Right, you leave Pallet Town, and those like first 3 that are just representative of like 3 actual players have Pokemon that will just insta kill you in 5 seconds, and you just keep fainting and ending up back in Pallet Town.
That
And
one
then Professor
goddamn Pachirisu just fucking using Draco Meteor on you.
Professor Oak's like, I see that you passed out. You got to be more careful.
It's just,
Oh,
it's just,
Professor Oak.
it's just
You
one
wandered
person, and all they've got
what
is
was the, what was the 3rd gen Pokemon Professor? Was it Birch?
Birch or Willow.
Probably, yeah. Bert.
Yeah, Birch.
Yeah.
He's the one you find in the forest who has 3 Pokemon in his backpack, but for some reason forgot to grab them when he was being attacked.
Yep.
So it's up to this 10-year-old to save him.
So what happens is the first person you go to fight has like a level 50 Metapod.
Well, that's going to take you a while.
It knows nothing
Enjoy.
but Harden, and as soon as it runs out of that, it goes struggle and then kills you.
Well, that's an interesting thing. Can you get it down to a low enough health that struggle will kill it?
Well, I mean, struggle does HP damage to both of you.
Exactly, and struggle bypasses the hardened defense, so it's just gonna
that's
lose
true.
health.
I mean, I
So-
assume at that point it's got a high enough attack that it'll just kill your level 3 Pokemon at level 50.
I would just love it if you just wander out of town and there's just a Mewtwo just like wandering around.
It's Jirachi, the wish Pokemon. It wished you were dead.
and you're like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And if you like win a speech contest against it, like you have a battle of the minds, and if you win a speech contest, Mewtwo just comes with you for the rest of the game, and instantly win everything from there on out.
That
I
makes
wish you could have gotten weirder starters. I love the randomizers people play with Pokemon, where you just get the strangest starter.
you start with Shuckle. Shit.
No, that's the best thing to start with. That's the highest possible damage you can do.
Yeah, if you do it right. Also, one of the most defense you can have as well. Crazy. I would like
I
to
want
start with an Aaron.
Aaron
Can
was
I start
fun.
with a Wurmple
No.
so I
No,
can
we don't
transfer
let you make
to-
that mistake.
So it's just stand there and stare at people for a while. or what was that seal that everyone hated? Poplio. Give me a Poplio to start out the damn game.
You can actually do that in one of the games, so that's not anything new. It was one of the starters. That's why everyone was so pissed about it.
Oh my god. Well, just don't pick Poplio. Jeez.
Can I
That's why
start
they give
with-
you choices.
The water types, the water types have just gone down in coolness since the start. Like
Since Squirtle.
Squirtle
Man.
and Totodile were kind of cool looking. Then
How
you
about
had
What?
fucking Mudkip. Like Mudkip didn't look cool. Mudkip looked kind of cute.
Can we just
the
take a
pink one.
moment to talk about Alolan Executor?
Oh, how tall?
Goddamn palm tree.
Palm
It's a
Palm
plant
tree.
and dragon type palm tree.
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
screw you. I'm double weak to ice, but I'm a dragon.
And it looks so dumb.
And Charizard is not.
And I love when you go to fight it in Pokemon Go, you can't even see its head.
What head? It
It's
doesn't have
just-
a head.
Just look up. Oh, that's what
It has a head. It has a head somewhere up there.
In the clouds.
And, heads usually are. They're like the coconuts at the top of a coconut tree.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I don't. The Alolan versions of things are a little weird, but I hear that they're not going to be in the Pokemon Switch. They're not going to do the Alolan versions or like the ultimate versions.
Hey, I mean, the Alolan version of Vulpix is adorable.
Well, that's nice.
It's an ice type instead of fire. It's all white.
Wasn't the Meowth like a dark type
I
when
don't
it was
remember.
the Alolan version?
Yes.
I thought so.
So they're both weak to fighting. I think besides Vulpix, almost all the Alolan trans weak to the same, which is very interesting.
What was it? The isn't the Squirtle like a grass type?
That's a
don't-
gra-
that
Ooh,
occurred.
Grass
that's
type
interesting.
Squirtle.
So the Bulbasaur's a fire type, and the Charmander's a water type. They just
I've
all
seen
switched.
that fan art.
Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
that too, which looks cool.
Yeah,
Coolish, as far as Pokemon goes.
Pokemon is cool. Don't be a hater. Don't be a hater. Such a hater on these things.
Haters gonna
Um,
hate.
But
That's
Oh,
attributed to Tadoff Swiftler.
we're not going back to Tadoff Swiftler. You can't do that. No, sorry. Tadoff Swiftler is going to promote Pokemon for the Switch, and isn't that going to be terrific for everyone? They did say though that even though they aren't going to do the Alolan versions and stuff, there's a good chance that there will be 100 Pokemon in the game.
Oh, good.
That, folks, it's going to be a long trek through Pokemon World.
Catch them all. Because it was a struggle when it was 151 and you had to find goddamn you. Now try it.
Oh, find you.
The Wonder Trade exists.
Right.
It's honestly one of my favorite features.
What did
Yeah.
I get? Crap, another Rattata.
You know what I did?
Rattata.
I got a second starter at some point, like a second starter Pokemon. I think the first time I tried Wonder Trade was in 6th Gen. And I had a decently rare Pokemon, but I had 2 of them, and I went, sure, let's do this. And I just kept going, just filling out the Pokedex. Have fun with someone else. Let's go.
You're like, ooh, Dunsparce, you're going by.
Hey, it's Dunsparce. Cool, Pokedex done. Get the fuck out.
Oh man, yeah, that's never a good one.
Don't release your Pokemon. Wonder trade them.
Exactly. That's what you do with those imperfect breeding.
Yes.
You eugenics motherfucker.
Perfect. Oh man.
Eugenics.
God, I'm sorry, I did not mean to make Pokemon that dark that fast, but here we are.
Selective
Well-
breeding for generations.
The darkest Pokemon timeline. that
To
we've
be
got.
honest, I got some great Pokemon because of people like that. They're like, they're a stat or two off from perfect. Have fun with it. I'm just like, sure, I'll use it against my friends. Let's go.
Oh man. So other things, just a few other little call outs here. That there I have played the Surge. There's talk that there is going to be the Surge 2 in 2019, that there is going to be a new Serious Sam 4. So if you like just bullet hell, you got it.
Seriously. Surge.
And also there's a Call of Cthulhu game. So those are a few other little titty bits there. And any thoughts on those really cool things?
I hope the Call of Cthulhu game makes you go insane.
If it doesn't cause actual seizures, I feel like it's time.
Like Eternal Darkness, because that's what happened with Eternal Darkness.
What, it caused people
Was
seizures?
that Crystal Dynamics? No, that wasn't Crystal Dynamics. The whole hook of that was like a Cthulhu kind of game, but it was this. You had a sanity meter in Eternal Darkness as you played through different characters, and as that insanity meter went down, the game started to screw with you.
Uh-huh.
It would start telling it, like the screen would like go dark occasionally, and just sound would just cut out. They do weird things, like some people got freaked out because all of a sudden the game would just halt and it said game disk could not be read or save data could not be found. And then all of a sudden it would all come back. But it was all due to how high your sanity meter was.
Right.
Oh my god, that's brilliant.
It,
I love
it,
it.
it was.
It was excellent.
Yeah.
Nathan, you should play that on stream sometime.
It's interesting. It would be the first time I ever played it because I thought it was going to be too scary. And I
Well-
didn't like scary games.
Well, you should play it because you think it might be scary, and you don't like
Now
scary
it's like
games.
the nightmare of someone who knows game. Not the
And-
next, it's not scary because it's jump scares and haunting. It's just, is it
It's creepy.
fucking? I trust you.
Yes.
You sit on the Aeroscream bit.
I will totally do that. I will
You
do that
should.
almost every single time. Games I didn't talk about was Rage 2 because my question was why. I don't know why they're doing that. Rage and thought, oh, okay. So it's like if you made one of your other games, but much shorter and with less content, looking as good. It's like Borderlands without the art style, the character development, the length, the playability, or qualities that I'd want from it.
Basically, if you stripped all the things that made Borderlands interesting right out,
Yep.
you found Rage.
Pretty much. And you make it like only like a 10-hour game, and you give a selection of weapons that are predetermined at the start, and you go into random places to just kill off mutants and stuff.
I mean, I'd be pretty angry at a game like that. So I think they succeed in their title. And
Called it Rage, I'm pretty sure. And a character voiced by John Goodman. Let's face it.
Oh boy.
That's just asking for some problem.
I mean, basically, like, imagine post-apocalyptic Big Lebowski. That was pretty much Rage.
You're giving
Thinking-
that too much credit because that sounds amazing.
Okay, it's like that, but with just the John Goodman part. None of the other stuff. Lebowski's not in it. It's just the other stuff that was around in the movie.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Still, I guess that would be
It's a
more
remarkably
interesting.
accurate description now that I think of it.
But I do have to say, before we leave, I have to mention, because it's the thing I'm probably most interested in, Redemption 2.
What?
Red Dead Redemption 2, Alex? Have
What?
you heard of that?
They're making another one, finally?
Did you not hear that? That was announced months ago.
I don't pay attention to gaming news, because I don't usually have money to buy games.
Dead
Neither do I,
Redemption
my
2.
phone just tells me it exists.
Red Dead Redemption 2 was actually announced like last year. They said that but it's been pushed back because it was actually supposed to be released like right now, like April, and they've pushed it back to the end of the year. But yep, that's what Rockstar's been working on, and so we're gonna get that, and it's gonna be a prequel to the original game.
Here you go, Nathan.
I know that much.
Here you go, Nathan. A sponsored
Yeah,
ad
yeah.
from Bethesda. We are ready. Are you? Join us for the 2018 Bethesda Showcase on Sunday, June 10th at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Time.
Oh,
Okay.
They're running ads. It's an
Oh,
animated ad.
Ian.
I like animation and ads.
It looks like a paper craft kind of ad with the animation. Looks like they're 2D figures in
Right.
front of the E3 showcase.
Yeah. Well,
It says creating something special.
well, that's as cryptic as Bethesda gets.
Well, I
Wait,
assume they chose the word special because you use special in Fallout.
Yeah. Yep. That makes
So-
sense.
So, it's not cryptic. It's actually just list because every character uses special. So, you're gonna be.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
That's
Wow, that now that I think about that, that's a lot more underwhelming than I was hoping.
yeah. Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if Red
Alex.
Dead Redemption 2 is good, that means I get to steal carriages and throw dynamite. Did anyone else find that one spot in like the north where you could consistently? They were like large carriages that would go by consistently, so you could just kill the drivers and slowly but surely pile up to the point where they would you just throw dynamite into the groups of carriages and the guys wouldn't make it through the paths before the dynamite went off and slowly
Oh.
built up a blockade.
I didn't play that. I didn't get to that part.
Fort
I-
Presidio. Just it. You
I-
go
I
into Fort
feel like I
Presidio,
can
you
see
shoot
that.
everyone who's in there, and then no one can kill you. 3 dudes in Fort Presidio, you are invincible.
Yes. I need to try this now.
It was great. Me and my friends, it's just you kill everyone in Fort Presidio because it's AI, and then 2 people are on the cannons, and someone goes on maybe another Gatling, sits in the middle of the gun, and just rack up your bounty. We easily got up to 2,000,
Nice.
where your bounty increments by $20.
Oh man. I
If I can pull off
Very
stuff like
good.
that, I'll be happy with Red Dead 2.
and then they can make the Undead Nightmare version, but for the new one. And I can get
Yeah,
my
that-
my
I forgot
dynamite gun.
It's all about the hopes and dreams.
All about the hopes and dreams, and at least from the cutscenes, it looks like John Marston is in it, but he is definitely not the player character. There's another character who we've never met yet that is going to be the lead. But there should be all of the fun of train robberies. This is like supposed to be taking place in the gang that John Marston was part of before Red Dead Redemption. So I guess we'll find out what happened there.
Either we
Yes.
die or go crazy. Otherwise, I'm going to be
We're pretty. Oh well, I say we, just the whole community, or that, very much like the original Red Dead Redemption, things do not end well for our protagonist.
Oh, they end completely well.
You didn't play the
Be a
original
damn
Red
shame.
Dead, did you?
I was
It'd be
being
a damn
sarcastic.
shame if we lived.
Yeah. Yeah. But hey, as long as I don't have to play as the annoying son for the remainder of the game.
Yeah, let me just... Every... Oh, this is gross.
I yeah, I Jack sucked so much. I hated Jack.
I mean, they needed to let you play the rest of the game that you...
Oh yeah, yeah. And in 3 years, he turned into a total. He in
look,
3
you look
years.
exactly like the model they used for your dad, except the same voice lines at the age you were 3 years ago.
But you look the same, pretty much, and you have exactly the same skills and abilities as your dad had. In 3 years, you acquired all of that from being a kid. Congratulations, Jack. You're still an annoying little bastard. I hate you so much. Oh god. He's just mean. He was mean to his horse. He was annoying to everybody else around. It's like I much prefer the Undead Nightmare version where John Marston just comes back from the grave as a zombie and you get to play as zombie John Marston for the rest of the game.
To be fair, he has more...
Oh boy.
Oh man.
Are we missing anything
hey,
for
I got-
E3 2018?
Oh, I don't think so. Oh, hey, No Man's Sky is coming to the Xbox One.
I said missing anything, not sighing about things.
No, I was just throwing that out
Missing
there.
was pudding.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of games that continually get get relaunches, Okami HD coming to the Switch.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's...
Oh yeah.
If I had a Switch... But...
That's okay. That and there's probably going to be another Shadow of the Colossus release. There's just like 4 or 5 games that we just need to relaunch every generation so people play them again.
Well, they made so much money the last time they got to go.
Yeah. So I guess I can since everyone's here though, any games that you were really hoping would come out, even if they aren't announced or anyone's talking about them, your wish list games.
Elder Scrolls Black Marsh.
Okay. Fair enough.
Battlefield Bad Company 3, I believe I stated.
You did.
Yep. Yep. That's a good one.
I was kind of hoping the new Assassin's Creed, when you said Assassin's Creed Greece, it was Greece the musical, and it took place in that.
No, it's Odyssey, unfortunately, and the first, and of course the trailer that they give is basically that moment from 300 where you see a guy kicked off a cliff.
Oh, of course, because we need to
Yes.
use that image all the time.
Because
Yes.
that didn't get overused in, what, 2005?
We are assassins. Kick.
This is Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
That's
I'm wondering-
what it'll do.
On that story is unfortunately not going to be like Greece. I think it might actually, at the end of Assassin's Creed Origins, there's Aya, who was Bayek's wife, goes off to Greece and she's Greek and he's Egyptian, and so he kind of like starts the Brotherhood in Egypt,
You know what I think's
but
gonna happen?
Aya kind of goes off, so maybe it follows her or what happens in Greece after that.
I think
What do you think
I
happens?
think you'll be killing all sorts of assholes, and then Kratos is gonna show up and kill you.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, hang on,
Yeah.
hang on. Do you think Kratos is going to be pissed at you killing powerful individuals who like to flaunt it in front of other people?
Yes.
Because I feel he's just going to show up and go, I like you.
I feel like he's gonna go.
I'm gonna get the gods. You kill the people who worship them. We'll tandem them.
I
Yeah.
feel like he would more so be like, "You're taking up my room. You're cramping."
You're
my
killing
Well-
the people who worship these gods. It's not as fun to kill them anymore.
I mean, he is a god, so.
Well, I mean, now Kratos has dealt with like all of the Norse gods and
He hasn't
all of
come
the.
close to dealing with all the Norse gods. They only made one game. They're still trying to push out that trilogy.
True. That's true.
I think
And then
he's-
he's got a whole other pantheons to
Well,
work with.
he's
I'm
getting
sure.
kind of old at this point.
And then,
Oh.
then he gets Wait
So
till he gets
is Logan.
reborn and has to fight the Egyptian gods.
Oh, you're right. He's got the Valkyries.
Falls into a river, wakes up, Anubis is there, punches Anubis, rips the scale out of the ground and hits him with it.
That would be great.
Bah!
That'd be great.
Oh god, I think I just gave them.
Oh, yeah, you gave him all the ideas.
I just made 3 more God of War games. Whoops.
No, that's good. It's fine.
It's okay if you make God of War games. I'm fine with that.
To be honest, they're
Heard the new one was good.
bad, so hey.
It was really good. So, yeah, no, Kratos has to just like fight through the ancient world of every single civilization. Just go on a rampage, just killing off pantheon after pantheon.
You know, he's pretty much immortal, right? Like,
Oh,
like.
does that make his son immortal too?
His son's
He's
already
immortal?
a half god, anyways. Well, he's a god, so I mean, I don't think he dies with age, does he?
Yeah,
But he
but
wasn't-
he's a Greek
he wasn't-
god,
he
so he
didn't
can still be killed,
Well, yeah, but I mean, if
as
he
he has
doesn't,
proven.
because I can see Kratos living through the timelines, and then like the founding of America, going up to the founding fathers, and just like beating the shit out of them.
Is Kratos still a god? Because I thought he had his powers taken away by Zeus, and then he had
He's
to work
still
his
a-
way back.
He also killed Zeus.
He did kill Zeus.
So I guess
He got the
I guess
power.
when you, I guess
It's
once you
vague.
kill them all, maybe he just got his powers back through osmosis. Maybe.
It's
Like-
vague because like the point where he's supposed to lose his powers, he comes back to and doesn't quite seem to lose them. So it's
Oh, when
Yeah.
Zeus is stabbing the crap out of him with the blade of
The big
Olympus,
the Moonlight Greatsword. Yeah,
and he like comes through from the Sisters of Fate's portal that he took, and like Zeus is like stab, 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 and he's like, I'm gonna come in from the other side, and my old self is gonna be like, what the fuck just happened? That's me. That was great.
Yeah. Yeah. Great.
but his kid would be a demigod. So
I mean, I guess Atreus is actually like a half giant and a demigod, so it's kind of
I mean-
interesting.
he's already murdered one thing. So
Oh, there's that.
sometimes we forget about that he actually started his whole thing as a Greek classic tragedy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tried to kill himself at the end of the first game.
The beginning of the first game.
Oh yeah, that's true.
You,
Classic
you
Greek.
begin the game with
Such a
Kratos jumping off a
classic.
cliff. So.
You begin the game, you die.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to Dark Souls. I mean,
It's Dark Souls before Dark Souls.
Demon Souls did it. Hey, here's your tutorial boss. Oh, you beat the tutorial boss? Well done. You're dead.
You did.
Have fun fighting this mid-tier boss. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean you actually want to try fighting? That's hilarious. Die.
Souls. I hated that game. I did not like Demon Souls. That's like the reason I didn't try to pick up Dark Souls. I had played Demon Souls and I'm like, yeah, me. I don't
I
think I like this.
I didn't play Dark Souls because I had played someone who really into Demon Souls, and I remember playing. He specifically set up a character that we could play with in like an hour that was built around killing level 10. And it was just like, this is fun and evil, but dear God, if I have to face you in this game, if people are like you in this game, I'm fucked. And then got popular, and I went, okay, I'll try it. Spent 3 hours fight.
Yeah.
path.
I don't know, man. I guess From Software has a niche market, but I was not particularly taken with their products. There are. Oh yeah, I don't know if we're gonna hear any more about those.
That's vague.
Sorry, I was just thinking to myself. I just realized there were a few other games that are coming up. We Happy Few, which I played the demo of. That's a very interesting one. And Overkill's The Walking Dead game, which should be interesting. Which is not like the other terrible Walking Dead game or the Telltale games, which were good.
Sure.
Looks like it's an actual like action game.
Gotcha.
And We Happy Few was a really interesting like indie title about like a dystopic alternate world London where you have to be happy all the time and take pills.
Sounds
not
like my
having
kind
those
of
pills.
place.
Oh, you're gonna
The
love it.
opposite. Wait, London. You have to pretend to be happy, but
Oh, you
everyone
can't just be happy?
assumes.
You can't. You have to be. Yeah, you have to pretend to be happy, or the happy police come and get you. It's a dystopic world. There's a game I know absolutely nothing about, but it's called Eternity: The Last Unicorn, and I'm instantly interested in it.
Oh, jeez.
I will have to look at more information about this. Oh, it's a classic style RPG.
So it's text based?
No. There's actual graphics to it. Sorry. Dashed your hopes and dreams. Anyway, oh yeah, we were talking about games that we hope come out. I on a KOTOR 3.
Okay, I like our stretch goals here.
My stretch goal is a Knights of the Old Republic 3. No more. No, KOTOR distresses me to no end. I want a damn. And if they end up revealing it at E3, I will lose my shit.
Will you rip your hair out, Nathan?
Not hard, Alex. Not hard at all.
See, here's the problem. They're gonna come on stage. They're gonna announce KOTOR 3, and then you're gonna go. "Wait, that's an EA representative." Then they're gonna show you their whole lovely loot box system, medic transactions.
Yep.
And how the only way to get a purple lightsaber paying is for the pre-release. Buying pre-order.
Yep. Yeah. Because unfortunately, yeah, I am at the will of EA for that particular product now.
Because they own BioWare.
Yep.
Although I've always maintained, I think BioWare and Bethesda need to put out a game together. I don't care what it is.
That?
Bethesda should just buy BioWare.
Because
just have it
BioWare's
under
writing
Bethesda.
is way better than Bethesda, but Bethesda does better gameplay.
They're good at story.
Yes.
That would be.
That would be. I kind of wish that like any of the team of BioWare that was part of BioWare, that if they are all kind of leaving the studio, that they just go and work as like a division in Bethesda, because they probably do better over there than with AEA.
I mean, it doesn't take much.
The interesting concept about that would definitely be one of those games that comes out. If that gets successful enough, that, you know, Witcher 3 kind of fall. You know, Witcher 3 also pulling into this. Just no. Single player story driven is successful. Wildly successful. If it happens, we might see a resurgence in it.
Right? That would be wonderful.
Yep.
Can you imagine the AAA gaming market going story-driven single player games being a focus, are successful in what we should build next?
Hasn't done that in a decade.
I mean, the market will determine it, I'm sure, but there has been a lot of. There have been a handful of companies, I should say. Not a lot of companies, but there's been a handful of companies that have continually made a case for a single-player market worth focusing on. And if enough people keep buying those games, more of those games, like CD Projekt Red is a good example of that. The Witcher 3 is supposed to be a single player experience, and people really liked it, and it did very, very well. That should give people pause to say, maybe we shouldn't be hitting the multiplayer aspect as hard in some cases. Be a place for a single player world.
One can hope.
And you don't have to force it into every single game so that then I have to play a bunch of other people, because that's apparently what mine is. Except it's not. I did a whole video about that.
Yep.
Not. Because the leveling system isn't like Skyrim. It levels up with you like it did in Oblivion, and I didn't like Oblivion for that very reason. That's not what Fallout 76 is. Just Fallout 76. Oh yeah, no, it's basically Elder Scrolls Online, but for the Fallout. No. Do this to me. Oh, anyway. So, any other hopes, fears, dreams? Don't even have to be
Still
about.
certain that squirrels are steal the world's. But you said fears. You didn't specify where.
Oh boy.
I did kind of leave myself open to interpretation on that one. My fault. My bad.
I'll be your I'll be tonight's dose of ridiculousness, since we don't happen to have Nintendo attempting or Kojima present.
Right. Right. Yeah, we yeah. I mean, Kojima. I feel bad for the man. I mean, he has his own little world that he builds games in, and then he kind of got shafted in the end.
I can't feel bad for him because he's gonna release Death Stranding, and people will still have no idea what it's about, and it will sell remarkably well. And
It will sell so much. Yeah. But you know
I
what?
don't think it'll win Game of the Year, but
Well, that's an interesting prediction fest. What will win Game of the Year? I think we're too early in the year to predict.
We don't know what
Yeah.
games are coming out yet, so
I predict that KOTOR 3 wins Game of the Year.
I predict no one
And
buys it
that-
because they didn't think it was a thing, and they'll think it's like Duke Nukem.
what is it? Rise of the Dragoons 2? Was that other named Sony name game we got?
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
Legends of
there-
Dragoon.
I'm fairly certain if any one of our games, our hopeful games comes, it'll become Game of the Year for no reason,
Just to spite us.
just to spite us. And we won't have the money at the time to buy it, and it'll be on the system we don't own.
Yep. That's
Hey, no.
exactly how it's gonna happen.
there's Psychonauts 2. I'm getting that. Shaper's working on it. I know he is, so I could finally have that. Go back inside people's heads.
Oh, that'd be great.
They're doing it. They are doing it. They had gotten crowdfunding for it, and Schaefer has videos of them getting it all together. So I think it's supposed to focus on Raz now that he's like joined the psychic bureau of whatever, and he's going on missions into people's heads,
Oh, good.
and then
Good.
be more fun
gracious.
like that. You never played Psychonauts, did you, Alex?
Nope.
Yeah, man. That was one of Double Fine's best.
Oh, good.
Good stuff. Got to go inside of people. There's like a little door you could put into people's heads, and then the levels were inside people's minds.
Yes, I've seen
States.
video.
Explore the world that's made by someone else's psychic.
Yeah, it's the best. Like one of the best ones was the lungfish. You go inside this giant mutated lungfish to find out what's going on with it, and you're like the Godzilla monster in this Tokyo city that's filled with these lungfish that are fighting for their lives. And there's all these news reports that keep coming on, like the army has dispatched our armed forces on the ground to defeat the terrible monster, and they're talking about you. So you're like climbing over giant buildings and smashing tanks with your with your powers. It's pretty great.
Perfect. Just how I like it.
Yeah, you would have loved that game, man.
Yes. All right, Nathan.
With like the crushed velvet all over the place.
What?
That would have been great. That was a level
Okay.
in the game.
Oh, all right then.
That was cool. Anyway, so that's now that we know exactly what's going to happen at EA at E3. Yeah.
It'll be EA in a couple of
happen?
years. It'll be no longer known as E3. It'll be EA.
No, E3 now owned by EA. You need to pay a microtransaction to get through every door.
E3, a subsidiary of EA Games.
That would be
E3,
something.
you actually need to buy the E3 DLC to get all the presentations.
Yeah. To get into E3, you actually need to pre-order an EA game.
That's how they're going to sell off all those copies of Battlefront 2 they pressed. It's going to work out great for them.
They're gift bags. They're gonna be giving them out in gift bags.
Yeah.
Write them off as charity.
Oh, I hope EA eventually learns its lesson, but I do not hold out any realism that they will. Oh, they own everything now. Oh my goodness. Anyway, well, that's good. That's a bunch of games that might be good. Fuck. We don't
Might not
know.
even be there.
They might not even be there. We can look back on this evening and ask ourselves, which one of these did not suspiciously appear at E3 this year? I wonder what. It maybe Beyond Good and Evil 2 doesn't actually show up. Wouldn't surprise me if it did, but it would be great if they had something for us.
Right.
Yeah. So, anyway, I want to thank DC Lacer and Drunk Paul. Thank
Yay.
you guys. Yay!
Happy to come by.
So much for joining us so that we weren't bored.
And we weren't just two people talking into a void, we were four people talking into a void.
Life goal.
Life goal! We doubled the void!
Void achieved.
Doubling the void for all to know and see. You know, if you just double that a few more times, it's like a pyramid scheme.
Let's keep it up then.
Yeah.
Isn't that that's supposed to make money, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For somebody.
For somebody.
Not us. Somebody
us.
makes money off of it.
What, we make money? We don't make money.
No, we're not Avon. But boy,
Delve
it'd be great if we. Well, yeah, I got nothing to follow that up. I guess that's where we end our E3 pre-show spectacular. I hope this, or if you're listening to it later and want to see if any of our predictions are real, too.
Good luck.
If we're psychic or not. Are we?
I don't know. We'll find out.
We will.
Did Alex get that game he was looking for?
I totally did. All
No?
of them.
Anything?
I don't know.
Yeah?
We'll figure it out later.
Mega Man, but like set in Elder Scrolls world?
Go away.
Just have Bethesda make a Mega Man game?
there's a
I'd like that.
Just do a mod for Skyrim.
You could do a mod for Fallout 4, I guess, pretty easy.
I'm gonna shoot cheese wheels at you with a fat man.
They're gonna do something like they did with Gwent for Witcher 3, but it's going to be cheese wheel toss. for
Yeah.
for Elder Scrolls.
We should be able to build catapults in Skyrim, and then you can just launch cheese at bears.
Oh, well, we can call it Alex's Revenge.
Right. Anyways.
Finally, revenge on those damn bears. How dare they?
How bear they?
There's no bear-related games at E3, is there?
Nope.
Too bad. Missed opportunity. Anyway, everybody, thank you for joining us. This has been our attempt at doing something useful.
Something like
We've enjoyed it, and we will see you next time. And I guess I have to hope that Alex knows how to stop streaming.
Yeah,
I don't know if he does.
It's got 2 buttons that say stop streaming, stop recording.
Have a good night.
Still.
Will.
Have a good night, Paul.
Good night. Thanks
DC.
for joining us. Thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody else.
Bye.